What's up, everyone? It's the Interview Queen Alicia Toot here, and be sure to watch True Heel Heat.
What's up, guys? It's Wolverine, Death Machine, Mr. GMSI himself, Brian Cage, and you're watching True Heel Heat. Who better? Nobody. This is the knockout artist, Chris Hero, and if you're looking for some true heel heat, you better listen to them boys.
Yo, what up? You know what it is. It's your boy AJ Francis reporting to you live from New York City, the birthplace of hip-hop. And I'm telling you that I'm only tuned in with True Heel Heat Wrestling. Holla at me.
What's going on, everybody? This is your former AEW World Heavyweight Champion. Once a champion, always a champion. Swerve Strickland. Whose house? Swerve's house. You're watching True Heel Heat podcast.
Hello. It is me, your True Heel Phenom, SP3. We are live on the True Heel Heat YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter for AEWramble episode 181, Maximum Carnage, reviewing the January 15th, 2025 edition of AEW Dynamite Maximum Carnage, as only we can. And to do that, I am joined by my esteemed colleague, fresh off his trip. He is looking darker because he's gotten some LA sunlight. The resident Tony Khan critic and AEW criticizer, Mr. Jimmy Macram. How are you doing?
Resident criticizer. I like that. a little more pertinent a few years ago. Now the rest of you seem to be on the same page. Not nearly as fun. Remember all the arguments we used to have years ago? Well, not me and the chat, and now never really. Just go, that sucks. And they go, yeah, it did kind of suck. All right, fair enough. Fair enough. Does this guy even like wrestling? Where them guys go? Where they been?
They stopped watching the channel completely because they thought you did. Remember the guys on the couch who don't like wrestling?
Oh well, I'll learn a lesson one day.
It could also be a thing of now it is more noticeable, or at least more prevalent, that the issues going on with AEW than when you were complaining about it back in 2020.
That's probably true. I am a prophet. I agree with your take. Absolutely.
Now he's the prophet, ladies and gentlemen. Now I have a new nickname for him, the prophet, Jimmy Macram. But we appreciate y'all for joining us live. We appreciate y'all if you're watching us on demand. Remember to show your appreciation back. The simplest way possible is by dropping the thumbs up on this video. You can also share this video with all your wrestling fans, friends, and family on all your favorite social media platforms. If you're new to the True Hill Heat YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell to stay notified for all the great content here. And of course, sound off in the live chat. We'd love to interact with all of you guys, hear your thoughts on this week's AEW Dynamite. If you have a take, a hot take, an opinion on this past Wednesday show, let us know in the live chat. And of course, if you're feeling generous, you want to give back to what we do here, you want to show your support to the True Hill Heat YouTube channel and AEWramble, you can do that with a super chat donation. Any dollar amount matters. It goes back to the contributors that you see on screen with us here, and we always appreciate the support. We got plenty of people already in the chat chiming off. We got G Loke, who says, "What it do at True Hill Heat? Let's go and please smash up that like." Now, OGs, why are we a day late? Made me think it was Thursday. You want to explain why we're a day late, Dollar Shirt?
Yeah, you already threw me under the bus. What if I didn't explain where I was? What if I only explained to you where I was and I told everybody else I was busy, or I told everybody else I was someplace else? Tell people I'm on a trip. To
be fair, I tend to think that people don't listen to my intro or think that I'm just making jokes. So they wouldn't believe that that's where you were, and that's why we didn't do the show yesterday.
Yeah, I was in Los Angeles, and my flight was. Yeah, it was actually during when I was supposed to be recording. So that wasn't going to happen. So here we are on a Friday.
Look at that.
You're welcome.
They like it when we're on a Friday. We did this, you just did this for what? Thanksgiving?
Yeah.
Thanksgiving? And no. Yeah. The Friday shows are good. Friday shows are fun. If there's a holiday or if we're busy, we will just move AEWramble to Friday, but don't worry, you will always get your AEWramble fix. Alexander saying, "I thought I missed AEWramble the other day. Let's go." He also says, "Can we take a second to appreciate that venue choice for Dynamite? Looked great on TV. That arena, that looked great. Yeah, I agree. It looked
fucking splendid.
It was very well done. And like this like more unique venues like this is what I want AEW to go in the direction of.
Yeah, and I like the announcing table choice too, right there in the middle.
Yeah,
I'm not sure why it's so much.
Yeah, that's one of my friends. Literally, that's the first thing that he messaged me. He was like, "I've never seen like the announce table be in the hard camera across from the hard camera. That's cool." I was like, "Yeah, it was interesting look to Dynamite this week for sure." And I always like when they do the high platform going to the ring. That's always good. Reminds me of old WCW Clash of the Champions.
Oh, that's a nice shout. Yeah, announce table choice visually, venue visually. Audibly, that was awful, but yeah, visually it was great.
Apparently, they were not mic'd properly because I literally had my boy, shout out to Rick Ucchino of Sports Illustrated. He was hitting me up after the first match. He was like, "How does it sound on TV? Is it loud as hell in here?" And I was like, "Did not sound loud as hell."
No, it was not.
I was like, the crowd picked up a little bit towards the end of Omega in Cage, and they reacted to the post match, but during the matchup. Wasn't much noise.
Jarring.
And it was crazy because I actually did see people like standing up at certain times, but it just didn't translate. Either they got to get better crowd mics or something. I don't know.
Yeah, you got the money, cocksucker. Spend it.
I tend to feel like they are using probably the crowd mics that they use for arenas, but they're using it in these smaller buildings, which I don't know. Maybe it's like supposed to get like more, it's supposed to have more space to gather more sound. So being in a smaller space basically makes it a smaller sound. I don't know if it's something like that. I don't know. It was strange.
I know it sounded like it was fucking 12 people in there. That's what I know it sounded like. Good Lord.
Oh,
sorry, no. I don't want to hear nothing about no mic technology, all that shit. It's been 5 years. We've been in every type of arena we've ever needed to be in, ever, of any kind. 80,000 and 12 people. We should know what this sounds like on TV. Knock this off.
Oh, we got King Potato who says, well, looks like the boys are back in town. We also got King Potato who says, the Prophet, but I like the way he spelled it. I mean,
some street profit action. You know, I'm not mad at that.
Street profit. He's a street prophet, y'all. Get him his red solo cup. Alexander says the Prophet. And then we got our first super chat donation from our boy, Will Chisholm, a super Chisholm, if you will. Thank you so much, Will Chisholm. As always, we want to give you the floor, give you the mic so you can
speak, bitch. Come on now. Oh my God, Shivani. What the hell is wrong with you?
That part
in that bitch.
Commentary on this episode was when Mariah May joined them. Mariah May, she's the Toni Storm commentary crutch. She's got it. If she ever gets injured and we need to keep her on TV, put her right in the booth.
Please.
Will Chisholm says, remember when people thought Shane was going to come and help this Mox storyline? Not even Prime Bloodline can save this story. LOL.
I know we always mention the Darby and Moxley thing, but there was something else hot that happened. I don't remember what it was. Oh, right, that's what it was. When these cocksuckers are beating somebody up, and the Elite are looking at them like, "What the fuck is this?" And then they dip. How long ago was that? It could have been that long ago.
It was the week after Wrestle Dream. It was the week after Wrestle Dream. It all fell apart within like 2 weeks. Wrestle Dream was the peak. We didn't know it, but it was the peak of this whole story. The sad ending with Brian being murdered. That was great. the post Dynamite with that angle with the Elite watching and be like, we're not fucking with these guys. That was also great. That was also great. When even despite the fucking cast of characters they had in the parking lot, at least that was a show long narrative and it kept the focus on the Death Riders. It's like since those weeks leading up to Full Gear and after Full Gear, they just completely said, this is not the focus anymore.
It's over. They're just ironically, it feels quite a bit like the Bloodline. Like this fucking now Mox having these main events that Roman has, like
with multiple interference. Yet he still wants to be booked like wrestling wise as like a strong man. So
right?
he can't sell as much of like a Ric Flair or a Triple H would in this similar we've seen, like especially me and you growing up, we've seen those two in numerous matches that would look just like what we saw on Wednesday, but it's totally different when it's a person who's booked like he's a fucking Japanese final boss. Like it does not work.
Yeah, this thing fell apart.
They did do a great job. Spoiler alert for before we talk about the main event. They did do a great job of protecting Hobbs, I thought. With how
they did protect Hobbs, yes.
And how much he survived. They did rely too much, I feel. I think we're really getting at the issue is they relied too much on the near falls at the end to do that instead of Hobbs dominating most of the matchup and Moxley having to sell for, which I thought they should have went. And at times they were going in that direction. Like when he bites off the earring and stuff, like they were going in that. And then he would just go back to, no, I'm strong, man.
Right. So you're not sitting next to Hobbs. You look ridiculous.
Strange. It's very strange. Very strange. I really would have loved if they did Lex Luger, Hollywood Hogan, August 1997.
Oh,
I really would have loved it. I really would have loved it. him surviving all the Death Rider interference, put him in the torture rack, and they should have done exactly the same booking as the finish. Like that's like, and then they could have done it like last night for the taping, done the rematch, have him have a 1-day run. But at least he won. It does that. It honestly sometimes but honestly in wrestling, hate to say Vince McMahon does have a point with how he used to book moments. He used to book the moment and not really care about the follow-up. Sometimes the moment can last you and put you over a whole lot more than how the aftermath goes. Yeah, and you can ride off that momentum.
Had him beat Moxley, but Moxley's foot is under the ropes, and we don't see it until fucking next week. Oh, that didn't count. Moxley's still the champion. You could have 87 different ways you could have did it. This was fine.
Moxley beats up the referee. The referee gets up, sees he's in the torture rack, just sees his arm flailing around, thinks that and rings the damn bell.
Oh,
rings the damn bell.
Absolutely. Damn.
There was multiple ways to put over Hobbs in this situation and still protect Moxley. This was a perfect time for a Dusty finish where you do that. You do the foot under the rope. He wins. And then another referee comes down and be like, no, actually, no, his foot was on the rope. Or you could have done the angle on the taping for Collision, where they put the title right there.
I'm always here for that. You thought you saw something great, but you didn't. Oh, but you still have the moment. The moment's fantastic. Yeah. You get to trip for 4 days.
We got another super chat donation here from our good brother Will Chisholm. Once again, a super Chisholm. Thank you so much, Will.
I'm serious. I'm not going to sit back and take this fucking shit.
Will says, outside Toni Storm, these fans didn't care about that women's match, SMH. Will, I can tell you did not watch the match because you did not see Willow Nightingale's reaction. Oh my God. Willow got the biggest pop on this show.
No.
I thought Willow got the biggest pop.
Why is Willow get such a gigantic pop, but then glass shatters? That Toni pop is insane.
It was a big pop. I can't front. I thought both of them. It's like if you just listen to the reaction to those two women in that matchup, it's like, okay, it's pretty clear who we should be focused on.
Yeah,
right.
It is what it is.
Right.
It is what it is. Yeah.
Honestly, I heard some podcasters suggest Willow should be the one to dethrone Mercedes, and at first I was like,
sold.
And then I thought about it. And I was like, no, that's actually a good idea.
Sold. Willow, listen, Willow should dethrone. I was with you right there. Yes. Mercedes, Moxley, whatever you want. Yes. Sold. Yes.
Love it.
Please.
Love it. We got another super chat donation here from Alexander Fitzgerald. Thank you so much, Alexander. We appreciate your support.
Why are you so crazy? Take it easy.
Alexander says, interesting how Dynamite's ratings have gone up the past 3 weeks, considering they are on Max now. I expect the TV ratings to go down. I mean, it has been interesting. It's something that me and Jimmy were actually talking about before we went live here. And he made the case, and I don't think it's like out of the realm of possibility that not a lot of people are watching on Max. I think, though, to kind of correlate with why the rating is going up on TV, I think people are finding out about Dynamite from Max and then finding it on the regular cable.
Watching on TV.
Or maybe they've increased the advertisements because Max has advertisements on other stuff, so they see a commercial for Dynamite there and go and it's on TBS and they're watching it over there. There has to be an explanation for how this show has gone up, and it's pretty much gone up 100,000 viewers in the last month.
Here's the explanation. Is that true? Pre-C2 viewership. It's entirely possible. I know all you nerds love it, but I can't see many non-wrestling fans, non-wrestling obsessed fans loving it like that. I got two reasons for you. How's this? There's 2 draws in this fucking company, and they're both now on TV. How's that?
LaRon Ford kind of echoing what you're saying here. He says, it doesn't hurt that Kenny is back. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
They haven't released the Courthouse.
Honestly, when they did the video package at the start of the show, I was like, Kenny Omega being on this show as his return does make the show feel bigger.
Yeah, it does. They didn't release the Courthouse for this week yet, but if you watch last week's, it's like this. This is the top when it starts, and it goes like this. Then it goes like this. You can guess what that is, MJF, and then it just goes like this again. I would imagine it's going to start even bigger this week with Kenny, and then it'll do this, and then it'll go like this again. I'm sorry. I know you guys like edging them.
And the rating went up for that fucking awful segment on the show.
I guarantee you it went way up. I guarantee it.
I guarantee you're right.
Hey, man.
And yeah, this is a good point. Thank you for mentioning this in the chat, Big Man Dogs. He says, also, as much as I don't like it, Cope and Mox are doing huge YouTube numbers for AEW. Yeah, like I've seen people make that argument that, yeah, the internet, the IWC, the people online don't really like this Mox storyline. People in the building sometimes don't really respond to the Mox storyline always. This was different because it was in Cincinnati this week, but the last couple of weeks they haven't been reacting to it much. But then you look at the YouTube numbers, and they're the highest YouTube views for AEW of the week every single time.
Yeah, I would imagine. Those XW guys do ridiculous YouTube numbers.
Sure.
When you stop, if you weren't watching wrestling, stop. Oh, that's fucking what's space. That's the Shield guy. Click.
The Shield guy. We got Alexander who says, it's true though, Max is actually advertising AEW better than AEW. I would say you're not far off base there. You're not. It's literally on a daily basis. If I'm scrolling through social media, I will see Max advertising AEW.
Yeah, they got a lot of those fucking banners up. Swerve and Mercedes and who else on that fucking thing? Moxley.
I've seen one with Ospreay. I've seen one with Jay White. I've seen one with Kenny.
They're doing a good job.
Yeah, they are. We got one more super chat donation before I ask Jimmy about some bigger news from this week in regards to AEW. But we got LaRon Ford with a super chat donation here. Thank you so much, LaRon. We appreciate always your support.
Listen up, you prick.
He says there's no reason Willow shouldn't be world champion in 2025. She's ready to be the face of the division.
Yes.
I mean, if I'm booking it, I would do Timeless Toni Storm, dethrones from Mariah. We need a heel in between. See, this is why it would have been perfect if Statlander never turned back babyface, because she could have been the heel. And then you have Willow beat Chris for the title. That makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, I think Willow's above the TBS title now. Well, one would argue that the TBS title is the main belt at this point, but still, pretending like it's not. Willow should win the big belt at some point. What are we in? January? Tony wins in February. That's still, yeah, that's a lot.
I've seen people pitch. I got a different idea that I've seen someone pitch for Tony and Mariah. I'll talk about it when we get to the casino go. Which I think you will like the idea more than probably I do. So
HLA sold.
This pervert. You pervert. But yes, we got news to bring up because this week, one of the bigger news points from WWE was the debut of Penta Zero Mero. Great debut that he had on Monday Night Raw this week. His match with Chad Gable picking up the win there. His excellent promo. There was all the drama that came out of that. First, BodySlam.net reporting that there was some type of backstage heat on Penta for going over his time. Then PW Insider Fightful Select reporting that is not what they have heard. Management was very happy with Penta's debut and his merchandise numbers especially. And there was people backstage who were very happy for Penta and even pitching to have feuds with Penta in the future, which has led to PW Torch with a new report. Well, two new reports, but we'll get into this first one in regards to Penta. No. That was PW Torch had the report on Malakai Black. The report on Penta was from Lucha Libre Online, who reports that now with Penta's debut, now frustrated AEW stars who are frustrated with their position in the company are feeling that they are more open to making the move to WWE under the management of Triple H, especially seeing the treatment of Penta for his debut. So what do you think about that? And do you think that Penta and the success of Penta will lead to an AEW exodus of some kind?
I'm not sure about an exodus. I'm not sure how many people there could, pardon me, could go to WWE if they fucking wanted. However, that aside, I do think it helps. I think we said that around Mania time. People are complaining about Naomi and Andrade, like if they're fucking, why are they even here? They're not gonna have a big spot because it looks good to have them at WrestleMania. Because then you guys say, see, you come here, I'll take care of you. Didn't I take care of you? And now Penta on Netflix with this fucking debut. See? You see how I'll treat you? You see how I treat you if you come here? It's all advertisement. And it worked out big time. I thought Penta was fucking great. I thought Chad Gable was the perfect opponent.
Yes.
I don't know anybody else who I'd want to see come outside of Ricky Starks, who I'd want to see come over. I mean, obviously Jay White shows up. I'm not going to complain. Ray Phoenix, people like this. But Exodus, it's like 5 people. Oh, that.
I mean, that could be considered an exodus of some kind if they're all leaving at once. Yeah, we've seen several of these like 4 to 5 people exodus from companies. New Japan being probably the biggest victim of that in 2016 with AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, and the Good Brothers leaving the company to go to WWE. Then you had 2019, the Elite, Best Friends, Cody Rhodes, all leaving to create AEW and stuff like that. So I could see that with AEW, but I think that this would be I do agree with what you're saying, that it would be a very premature decision by a lot of people if they made that choice to go to WWE. And it would also be a short-sighted move by WWE that will probably put them in the same position that they were 5 years ago, where they had way too many people, and there was so many people that eventually a lot of them got cut or released and went to AEW. We're going to go right back in the same position. It's going to be, I think this is, as long as AEW is around, we're going to have these cycles where, yes, WWE is going to be hot and it's going to be the number 1 wrestling promotion regardless. But if you are signing all these talents, all these top talents, there's only so much time that you could distribute to them. And the fact that SmackDown is currently at 3 hours, and then we get the report today that they're going back to 2 hours in May or June. Thank you for admitting that was the wrong move. But anyway,
it's always been the case. Pay attention.
It's gonna be 1 hour less. No, they said they were giving a 6-month trial. Now they made it a 5-month.
Oh no! Well, got to die. Go ahead.
But yes, I expect there's not going to be as much TV time for people that think they're going to be so great. And yes, it's starting off great with Penta, and I do think that they do have an investment in him, and they are going to keep him involved in storylines. But there's also Dragon Lee. That's all I'll say. that man has not been on TV in 8 weeks. Like.
Which is weird. You think Dragon Lee Rey Mysterio is pretty obvious. The talent and the fucking gigantic name. Why is it not being pushed?
I don't get it. I don't get it.
With Nick Khan, just remove too much from the equation, because I could go either way on his one. It's not AEW guys. With Nick Khan, there's not one guy running the show. There's 2 guys. So I expect more discipline than Vince doing whatever the fuck he wants. Triple H wants out of the AEW guys. He don't have control of the checkbook. That's not how that works. So, no. I don't know who this is. I can't even spell this guy's name. I don't know what a Malakai is, sir. But this check, no, I'm not signing that. Take a 0 off and we'll come back.
Well, he might get the check that he's looking for, because PW Torch, that was the other news that I had to bring up. PW Torch says that those higher ups in WWE view Malakai Black as a potential top single star.
Let's go. Sign a check, Nick Khan.
He's a Paul Heyman guy, so it makes sense.
Oh, Yeah, right. Paul Heyman's Raw. Fucking push Malachi Black. What is going on? It's like that shit at all. Find that nigga mad fast. But hey, I'm glad he's getting another shot. I would just run the Cody thing back right away. I just do the AEW thing, except properly this time. Shows up, kicks his cocksucker's face off. They feud, kicks cocksucker's face off again, and we're done. Because that's how feuds work. I don't need 4 months, and then they wrestle a long time. He wrestles Dustin for 20 minutes, and then no.
Brock Anderson.
Oh, what the fuck?
Oh man, yeah. I'm not happy for Malachi Black. He deserves to have the opportunity. Work with someone that he enjoys working with, like Triple H. Also, Paul Heyman is over there, and he's definitely involved in creative a lot more than they put on, I think, in my opinion. Considering the people that are being positioned where they're positioned, I think that Paul Heyman has his fingerprints on more than just the Bloodline storylines right now. But you got him, you got Heyman, you get Big Check, and you got your wife over there. It just makes all the sense in the world for Malachi Black.
Forgot his wife was over there. Such an odd pairing, but whatever. I mean, I'll be nice. I get it. Malachi, do your thing. That's definitely the right call. I'm not sure about her part. That's a terrible call, but Malachi, good call. Listen, if he gets pushed as the main event act or even upper mid-card act, I'm here for it. I don't know if he still has that kind of juice left at 39 or fucking old he is. But who knows? He might not have to. The way Penta worked was so different from his AEW stuff. All of a sudden, nigga knows how to sell. Now all of a sudden, we're selling a leg. Where has this been? See? Well, you can't let niggas do what they want to do.
He sold it so well, people thought he got injured.
Yeah. Fucking AEW, come on, man. I don't speak English. I don't know what that means. Not bullshit. You know what the fuck I'm saying? Sign a fucking leg. Now all of a sudden he sells a leg. He knows exactly what's going on. This is some bullshit. All right, fair enough.
Like, see, sir. See. We got Bellator finisher said Willow could have won it by now. I mean, yeah, but 2025, I believe. Myron Kidd says surprised that AEW gave Kenny pyro in that small venue. Fire code inspector had to be sweating bullets. Yo, they went off with that pyro. I was like, I think this is the most pyro I've seen for anybody not named Ricky Starks in the past few years.
Oh, yeah, that was great.
Laron Ford says, good, this AEW roster is too big as it is. Also, let's see how Penta is doing in 3 to 4 months.
You know he's not a hater right now, but it's all right. Just like you know. Some people
you do.
You might not even know. I'm just like, you know, he's not kind of hatey right now.
Let that man cook. Let that man cook. We got Big Man Dogs. He says, I think the number of people who will get that push is limited. Yes.
Yeah. What's the list of who could even make the jump? I'm not sure like Britt can make the jump.
That's who I saw people alluding to. That's probably one of the people that is frustrated with her position, considering how she's been used.
I'm sure she is. I'm sure she thinks she can make the jump. I'm not entirely sure that's true. I'm sorry.
Britt, you were the number one girl when this AEW women's division was at its weakest. Ever since they bolstered this roster up since 2022, you have this is an even faster rate than Seth. Like Seth went from number 2 for years. Like we've gone over that. Went from number 2 for the years. Cody comes in, you're number 3. A year and a half later, Punk comes in, you're number 4. During that same time, Rhea rose to prominence, you're number 5. In that time, Gunther's become the best in-ring performer. In that time, maybe you still got number 5. I don't know. Jay Uso's also over. I don't know anymore. LA Knight's also over. I don't know any But Britt went from number 1 for years, and then Thunder Rosa was her number 2, her rival or whatever. But you could tell who the company preferred over the other. It was always Britt. But then Toni came in. And Toni slowly but surely was edging her out that spot. At the same time, her former bodyguard, her former heater, got over to a tremendous extent and bypassed her at the same time that Toni was bypassing her. And then you got Mariah May who came in and that bypassed her. Then they signed Mercedes Moné. Then we get the rise of Willow Nightingale in popularity. Then we got Chris Statlander, who's become the best in-ring performer. Like, it's just like, damn, you fell down way hard. Julia Hart. Like I can keep going. Harley Cameron right
now. But you see, Harley Cameron actually reminds me of Britt Baker at the beginning. It's all personality. It's all kind of being an idiot of yourself instead of this generic mean girl who's over because of her name. I'm sorry. I don't think Triple H is answering that phone call. Sorry. I mean, he might. He answered what's called phone call. Chairman Sean Spears. So unless you want to do NXT.
Yeah, he's like, you can go to NXT. We put you in NXT, no problem. With fatal influence? You could be the leader of fatal influence? Sure. No problem. We got Power Driver Finisher says it was pretty critical of WWE this past Raw review, but I gotta say congratulations to Penta for getting there, even if it's just for the moment.
Yeah, the fuck were you critical of this past Raw? Outside of
I did see you. You were critical of this past Raw Power Driver Finisher, but I was really trying to get apologies from Top Guy JJ and Romeo because they gave last week's Raw a fucking 7 and 7.5 respectively. And I literally started off the first 30 minutes of the Raw review this week. I was like, I want an apology because y'all need to go back and re-rate last week's episode. Because this is a high 7.5. I had to go as far as to give it an 8.5 because they botched their rating last week that I had to go 1 point higher.
Yeah, it's like 7.5, 8, I thought. Yeah, I thought that I didn't like outside of Rhea. Not her fault, obviously.
Oh, that was a shitty. It was a flat segment. Like, what are we doing?
What is this? This is what you got?
Honestly, I hate to say it. I think they are out of ideas for Rhea Ripley. And all we're gonna get in this new title reign is rehashing. Because if y'all got a bigger WrestleMania match than her and Becky again, I don't know. I think her and Io would be a much better match. I do agree with what you said before. Io winning the Royal Rumble, I would be down for that. But WWE has not in-stored me or given me a lot of hope for that with the way they have booked Io, losing to Lyra Valkyria in the Intercontinental title tournament for no reason unless Kyrie is actually really hurt. There was no reason. There was no reason unless Kyrie's actually really hurt. Did your mic fall out? Yeah, I think so. We got in the chat here, Big Man Dogs. He says, not in terms of individual talent, but I feel like the first 5 or so people to jump ship will be treated great. Yeah.
Like after this? Or like
if we're including Penta, then yeah, you go Penta, Ricky, Malakai, Miro, Warlow in NXT.
Yeah, they'll all be fine. They'll all be fine. Oh, Kyrie's actually hurt? Yeah, that's why Io was in there. She can't win the IC title. Ill.
I would have
bigger plans in mind. Rhea and Io is going to be great. Cheer up.
I think they do Rhea, Io, and they do Becky and Lyra at WrestleMania.
I like it, even though I don't really like Becky going for a secondary title. But hey,
me either. Seems like it seems like the fucking MJF from last summer going after the international title. So we got Will Chisholm.
6. Becky's been ahead of fucking Seth her whole fucking life. Stop it. No disrespect. Love you, Seth. Becky's the biggest star on the planet. You've never been Roman. Becky's been Roman. Stop it.
Like, what are we talking about? I'm not doing anything. I'm literally making an observation based on how WWE books things. He is not top 5 anymore.
Roman, Cody, Punk, Rhea, Becky. Who else we had on there? Gunther. That's 6. That's
and I can't. I'll give him 6 because I can't give it to Gunther. That was it. I like the segment with him and I like the segment with Jey Uso, but man, this World Heavyweight title feels like a mid-card title now.
Yeah.
Couldn't even get on a Royal Rumble. You got demoted to fucking Saturday Night's main event. Like that was telling. That was telling to me. I was just like, oh, like what we have completely lost the plot on this Gunther world title.
Yes. My guess would be this is gonna be a really long title reign. Because the fact that we're rehashing Jay and Sammy and Priest,
Orton.
good Lord.
Orton. Every one of his feuds have been rehashes. He's not had a fresh feud for the world title since he won the damn thing.
I don't understand why we're pretending like Punk and Seth don't exist unless we're saving that for later this year, which I don't agree with. I don't believe in saving things.
I don't agree at all. I don't agree at all. And I honestly still feel like Gunther drops the title at like Elimination Chamber. I don't see him walking into Mania with the title, but I mean, we got reports of him and Logan Paul because we have all these people that we just named that are higher up on the list, but we're gonna give a world heavyweight title match to the Logan Paul.
I don't like Logan taking another loss. Like you keep telling me this guy's a star, and every time he shows up, he loses. I don't like this idea.
Yeah. And then when he was winning, he just never showed up.
I don't understand what is going on here.
When he was actually getting put, he wouldn't be here. Oh.
You mentioned last week that you think Triple H has, I think, a year or so in his prime as a booker. I don't have a concern about that. My only concern is stuff like this. The Netflix stuff, the Logan Paul stuff. It's outside interests that you have to deal with. It's difficult.
Yeah. He has too many lords he's trying to serve here.
That's a good way to put it.
No. We got Big Man Dog says Malakai will be treated well because Paul Heyman and Triple H love him. Yeah. We got Brandon Brown who just read up his membership. Thank you so much, good brother. And finally here, let's see if we got a good one. Yeah, we got a super chat donation from Will Chisholm. Thank you so much, Will, for the support. You guys have killed it already today. We haven't even started the review.
Weapon in hand, too. And Blackpool Combat Club, they better wear out Kenny as long as they can. Hangman's going to come out here.
Steve Austin. Have you never watched? Do you know who Steve Austin is? All right.
Do you know he's the same person that Will Chisholm says they said, sorry, Britt, we got Julia and Stephanie and Roxanne fast tracking to the main roster versus Bailey, maybe NXT with Ricky Starks. Yeah, that seems like the best bet. I think we have thoroughly broke this down that Britt doesn't stand a chance of going straight to the main roster
at all. Yeah. I mean, eventually she might be like a Chelsea Green thing, but as a star, it's not gonna happen. Sorry.
And then with the Chelsea Green, it took 3 stints with WWE for them to finally get her right. She had to get released twice.
Yes, she had to become the most entertaining person on the planet to finally make it work. It's a goddamn shame. Oy. Jesus.
So, Britt, Godspeed if you're one of those people that's frustrated right now.
I would suggest I don't be rude, but like you're a dentist and you're a wrestler, I would suggest picking one if you want to go higher up the card.
That's good. Good point. And yes, that is another big news. We'll talk more in depth about the AEW possible exodus due to Penta's WWE debut, as well as all the news and notes regarding Malakai Black on tomorrow's True Heel Heat flagship podcast. But one other note that I did want to mention, because I do know you're a fan of hers. What do you think about Jada Parker and her activities on social media this week? Have you heard about that?
I have not.
So I believe midweek, Jada Parker on her Instagram shared a post of, I believe, I forgot what it was, but basically they're making a change with one of the sports that transgendered athletes can't be in the sport. And she reposted it, she liked it and stuff.
Okay.
And then people started calling her out on it, and she made the wrong choice and crashed out on Twitter and started replying to everybody. And then that's when everybody was like, oh, you want to fight back? Oh no, we got something for you. And they exposed a video of WWE superstars at the club, and apparently Jey Uso cheated on his wife with Jada Parker. That's the story. There's allegedly.
First of all, absolutely not blame Jey Uso for anything he's done.
I do not blame Jey Uso for breaking his sacraments.
I understand, sir. Some things are more important than God. I'm with you. But Jada, Jesus. How old is Jada? She got like 24, 25. Listen, you don't have to be fucking have those thoughts. We've seen these opinions out there before. I mean, I would guess 50% of the population, at the very least, have that
She's
thought.
25.
Yeah. However, it is dumb to vocalize these opinions when you're working for a company, especially on the internet, where it shifts from 50-50 to 25% of people have those opinions. So you should be very careful for spitting that up. Jesus. Listen, I get the thought process, but just shut the fuck up. I don't mean that in a rude way. Just keep the opinion. Nothing good is going to come from you spitting this out at all. Like nothing. No one's going to go, oh my God, I agree with you so much now. Ever. No, it's never happened. Sorry. Please keep it to yourself. What the fuck? Oh, she'll be all right. Logan Paul shares similar thoughts. She'll be all right. Now, she's not Logan Paul, to be clear. He can get away with shit you can't get away with. Even without being a star, he's got a.
Did you see the shit he did at the Raw on Netflix?
I did see that.
he says, "What's up to Dragon Lee?" Dragon Lee says, "You good?" He said, "Yeah, I'm good." Then he walks away. He was like, "Had to say what's up to Rey Mysterio. I love that guy." I was like, "Oh my God! If you weren't you, this would be hilarious."
Yeah, that's just funny. But hey, listen, that's why she was on NXT this week.
No.
Oh my God! I mean, that place is a little more liberal than one would imagine. Jesus. All right, brought me down. God damn it.
Bell says the Jey Uso thing is like, what the fuck at people? Because I was like that meme trying to see the back of that. I did my research. I paused it. I was like, and then I saw the post that had her outfit in the video, and she posted it on Instagram before going out to the club, and that's how they made the connection. I was like,
wow.
Fucking social media fucking professors. I swear to God. You can't do shit. Can't do shit.
So they were dancing in the clubs? This what was going
on? They were like in the corner at the club. I didn't see any like physical interaction, but they were very close, interacting with one another and stuff, you know.
Yeah. You tell Jay his game too.
Yeah. He's got swag.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, I'm so annoyed. Listen, Jada Parker's thoughts, well, not my own. Disclaimer. Well, not my own. Are they worthy of ridicule? Maybe. But hey. Tell you really careful what I say.
I don't even want to review the show anymore. I just want to keep talking about this because Jimmy's reaction is great.
I'm trying to be careful what I say. I don't want to offend anybody because it's not my channel. Otherwise, I'd offend everybody. But I don't want to get the channel in actual trouble. Yeah, Nikki Boy's got it right. Just shut the fuck up. Let's say God came down and said, "You are right. Jada Parker is correct, and the other 50% of you are wrong." Is that going to help you get a job? Jesus is going to help you get a job. Just shut the fuck up and just do your thing. You're not a political scientist. You're not a doctor. I don't think transgender athletes should be. Okay, great. Now what? Great. Shut the fuck up. Please.
Leave that shit over there. All right. We can finally.
Are they coming to take her job? Did they take Jada Parker's job? Then I'd be upset. Then you should be like, it's some bullshit. Get Nyla Rose the fuck out of here. But it didn't happen. Just
What?
Some
The words and opinions of Jimmy Macram do not necessarily reflect those of True Heel Heat, its viewers, or affiliates.
Tell you something. Nyla Rose took Jada Parker's job. I'll be up here banging the table right here with you. This is some bullshit. But that's not what happened. It's about college sports or whatever. Just shut the fuck up and fucking wrestle. What the fuck is going on?
Why does that matter? You got a job to do, man. All right, let's get into AEW Dynamite Maximum Carnage from this past Wednesday. What did you think of the crowd this week at AEW Dynamite?
Poorly mic'd apparently, but if that's not the case, this was ass. Crowd was ass. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, if it was great, if it sounded great inside the building, that's fine. Did not translate to television, but the crowd looked great and the venue looked amazing, so I'll give them that. We did start off the show and we got a return off the bat of Taz to the commentary desk. Happy to see Taz back.
No, fucking bleeding points over here already. Fucking show ain't even start. The show already stinks. Taz and Shivani back. Good lord.
They throw it to a video package highlighting tonight's card. It did make it feel very big time. The highlights did include the Kenny Omega Gabe Kidd at Wrestle Dynasty matchup, as well as Omega's AEW in-ring return is kicking things off on this episode as he comes out. This entrance is like it's definitely fucking AEW's answer to it's basically a Kenny Omega version of a Roman Reigns entrance. It's very video game sounding, so that fits Kenny Omega's persona, but it's got that epic feel of this is our company's final boss, which Roman has with his vibe, with his entrance and everything. And then the fireworks just added to that as well. So Kenny comes out, he's going one-on-one with Brian Cage in his first AEW Dynamite match since November 15th, 2023 in the 8-man tag against, ironically enough, Brian Cage and the Don Callis family. Loud ovation for Kenny right from the start. He fired off early with some chops. Cage pretty much no-selling it, which looked like Omega was chopping a brick wall because of how Cage looks. Omega took out his leg instead. Omega couldn't power Cage up, allowing him to curl Omega and do little arm curls and then a fall-away slam. We get Cage hit a one pop-up powerbomb. He tried another, but Kenny was able to spring off a Hurricane Rana, which brought Cage to the floor. Omega teased the Terminator dive, but Archer ran distraction, allowing Cage to turn Omega inside out with a lariat. Cage tossed Omega into the barricade and then press slammed him abdominal first onto the announce table. That allowed the solid oak, if you're wondering, that allowed Archer and Callis to get their cheap shots in on Omega before we go to commercial break. Back from commercial break, Cage hits a big suplex on the apron. Back inside, he gets a 2 count. Omega crawled to the ramp. Omega tried another Hurricane Rana, but Cage was able to powerbomb him right back into the ring, which looked like a vicious bump for Kenny. Kenny was selling the stomach, the intestines the entire way. He was also selling his level of exhaustion. His stamina wasn't up due to the ring rust of being out of the ring so long. He sold this perfectly throughout the whole matchup. Omega fought off a pump handle, connecting with a facepalm slam. But Cage got his knees up when Omega tried for a moonsault. He hits a sit-out pump handles slam, which looked beautiful for a 2 count. Cage went up top, but Omega was able to cut him off, allowing a springboard sunset flip bomb. Then he followed up with a V-trigger, but only got the near fall. Omega signaled for another V-trigger, but Cage sidestepped it. Omega floated over a German suplex, ducked a discus lariat, and popped Cage with a pump knee, followed by a V-trigger. He put him up against the ropes, got him on the shoulders, and was able to hit the one-wing angel. 1, 2, 3. Kenny Omega gets the win in his return to in-ring action in All Elite Wrestling. Post-match, Omega has no time to celebrate, as immediately you get Lance Archer getting into the ring. He attacks Omega. Kyle Fletcher joins the assault, attacking the midsection of Omega until Will Ospreay hits the ring. He makes the save similar to last week. Ospreay flips out of an Archer chokeslam. He hits an Enziguri. Omega fires off a V-trigger, and then Ospreay finish Archer off with a hidden blade, showing that Omega and Ospreay could actually work together if it wasn't for their animosity against one another. They start arguing with one another. Ospreay shoves Omega out of the way, and he gets wiped out by a Fletcher dive. Konosuke Takeshita's music hits, and he walked right out, getting right into Omega's face. A big pop for that one, for them going face-to-face with each other. And how different Konosuke Takeshita is from the last time he versed Kenny Omega, which was his previous biggest win before last year for Konosuke Takeshita. This leads to Takeshita and Fletcher getting the better of Omega and Ospreay. Fletcher hits a brainbuster on Ospreay, while Takeshita hits the Raging Fire on Omega. The Don Callis family stands tall. Despite all of that, Shivani said that Omega and Ospreay stood tall after Omega's return, but now they've been laid out by the Don Callis. Can they get it together to get their lick back here? I enjoyed the opening matchup, a good opening matchup here. Cage was a good type of person if you were going to give this amount of time. I thought it was the perfect amount of time. I think it went about 12 minutes. So not that long, doesn't need to be that long, but you do want to get Kenny Omega back in the swing of things. Show off that he sold the best part of his selling was the intestines, and then the selling of his ring rust and not being used to being in this type of matchup in so long. I think he did an exceptional job of that, and no one sells ring rust like Kenny Omega, because we saw him in the Tokyo Dome 2 weeks ago. He did not need to look rusty. He did not look rusty in that match. He didn't need to look rusty here, but he's telling his story that he wants to tell. I'll let him tell it. Good matchup. The post match I thought was better because it does set up what I think is probably going to be 1-2 or 1A, 1B with the women's title match as the biggest match for Grand Slam of Takeshita and Fletcher versus Ospreay and Omega. What did you think about the opener here, Omega and Cage, and the post match with the Don Callis family?
I was about to be rather upset by this choice of tag match, but that's not a pay-per-view, right? Apparently, it's just a TV show.
It's a Max special.
I love that. It's not gonna be on TV.
No, it's going to be on TNT, but I think they're trying to figure out the logistics of it all, because I think they do, and they should probably do it as a Max special live in Australia, because I know originally they had promoted that it was going to air in the Collision time slot on Saturday for February 15th, but Saturday, February 15th is All-Star Weekend. The Slam Dunk contest is more important than anything AEW is going to do to TNT. So that's not going on at 8 p.m. That's not going on at 8 p.m. on a Saturday. It would either have to go on in the afternoon or after the NBA All-Star game. You might as well at that point just air it live on Max. If you want to play it on TNT, you could do it before the NBA All-Star Saturday or after the All-Star Saturday, but at least put it on live on Max.
I like that idea. I don't think it'll happen, but I like that idea.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen either. Anytime I say a good idea, I'm literally saying it, knowing that Tony Khan will not listen to
this is a good match. You say Kenny Omega is attention looking rusty. I still have not sent that. You still have not sent me that match for him and Kid. So
I'm sorry. I thought you were going to message me to tell me to send it to you.
What do I care? I never see it.
I hate you so much. I hate you so much. Son of a bitch.
So I'm gonna take your word for it, because he did look quite rusty here. If you tell me this is him just playing it up, I'll take your word for it. But it's a good match. 12 minutes. Sure. All right, whatever. So New Age with 12 minutes is not a long match in AEW. Fair enough. And then by New Age, I mean the last 5 years. Whatever. 12 minutes is a long fucking time. I don't care what anybody fucking says. But listen,
I consider long like anything above 15 minutes.
So what's 12 minutes? Is that moderate?
Moderate.
Anything with double digits.
A moderate amount of wrestling. I'll take a moderate amount of wrestling for 500, 10 to 15 minutes. Thank you.
Just give me 8 minutes. 8 minutes of 6 minutes. Big Dunk said, I didn't want to go overboard. I would have said that. Just give me 8 minutes.
That is the squad. That is the time of the squad.
Right now, sponsored at 6 minutes. It's Brian Cage and Kenny Omega. I'm sorry. You can't come out like you're Roman Reigns and then take 6 minutes to be Brian Cage. I'm sorry. Please knock it all the way off. Roman's not even accepting that match, let alone having to go 12 minutes. I gave you 4 minutes with an entrance. Please and thank you. Sorry. The match was good. It was fine. Post-match was fun. Once Takeshita came out, I was hyped. I was like, oh my God, he's back with aura. Look at him. What a star. Even in that ring full of 2 stars and fucking Fletcher. Fucking Takeshita sticks out. Look at him. Look at him. God damn.
Yeah, that tag match is gonna be beast. You got 3 of the best, 3 of the very best in fucking AEW in that match. And then Fletcher, the most pushed young star in the company.
In the world. What the fuck is going on here? It's him and Rhea Ripley. What is this? I don't understand. Good Lord. Whatever.
I'm looking forward to that tag match. That should honestly headline the show. If we're not going to do a title change in the other match,
though, you may need to consider it. It's not Mariah's fault. You may need to consider it.
No, it's not Mariah's fault. She proved on this show she's still entertaining when she gets a chance.
Yeah. Oh
man, how many of these fucking title reigns have they fucking ruined in record time? Moxley, Mariah. Like, luckily for Mercedes, they kept the title water and she was able to recover her shit in comparison to everybody else. Private Party, like what?
Oh!
The fucking Death Riders don't show up with the trio titles.
They should get rid of those fucking belts.
Danny Garcia might be second, and he just defended the title on Collision.
Oh my god, I forgot about. I forgot he was the champion. Daniel Garcia. Oh my god.
The state of these champions. It's unless you have a title that is named after a station they are on, you are not in good shape in this company right now.
It might be time for a reset. It might be time to start switching some of this shit up. Please.
I think a couple of the people we just named outside of Moxley, because they have to continue that forever. Because we did get the confirmation this week that Darby Allin is out and doing the climb to Mount Everest, and they had already planned for this, so that means that we have to wait for Darby to get back.
Oh right. What if he doesn't come back?
Exactly.
He's not going to the store. He's climbing Mount Everest.
Thank you. That's what I've been saying all week. What the fuck are we doing? We cannot depend on someone who might die. What are we doing?
What the?
Why are we basing the booking of our top title on someone who might die?
Oh Jesus. Yeah, what a terrible idea. Listen, I root for Darby. I think he'll be fine. I think he'll be fine the way most of us are gonna be fine. Like, what? It's 85% chance he comes back. I mean, that's high in general. But if I told you had 85% chance of dying if you cross the street, you wouldn't cross the fucking street. Good Lord. Hey, whatever. I'm not gonna put the belt on for somebody who fucking does shit like this. I'm sorry. I want him to have all the fun in the world. Listen. I'm not your slave owner. I pay you when you show up. If you don't show up, you do whatever the fuck you want to do. I'll take care of you as per always. Not gonna punish you. I'm gonna push you, but I can't put my belt on you. You're gonna be climbing Mount Everest, jumping off bridges with skateboards and shit. I can't have it. I'm sorry. I just can't have it.
I was all for this idea when this storyline first started. Now the storyline has gone south, and the guy that's supposed to be saving us is not going to be here, and is climbing a very dangerous monument. So I think we need to cut bait here. But we do have another super chat donation in the chat for us talking about the opener to this show. Nicky Boyd, Negro Buck, Nick Jackson. Thank you so much.
He wants me to work with pricks constantly. That's what it is.
Nevertheless,
I just noticed how he looked at him when he
This is how he wants me to work with pricks constantly. That's what it is.
Nevertheless,
he looks at him like
this is how I know he's fucking mad for real. Like, I want to see your reaction to what the fuck I just said. Go ahead. You know I'm right, motherfucker.
Why is it that like every time we play these clips, I notice something new about it?
The angriest bite ever.
Oh my god!
Oh shit! I've never seen that.
I've never seen it. I mean, like we played that 100 times. I've never seen that he looks at him after he says it. Oh, Nicky boy, Negro butt. Nick Jackson with a super chat donation. He says Kenny can't be human. He hasn't missed a step. That's what I said. I take this all down to Kenny selling the ring rust, because it wasn't like when like how we saw Penta on Monday. The opening couple of minutes of that matchup, there was obvious ring rust being shown where he's not used to the ropes at WWE. They have ropes, they don't have cables like AEW. So he's trying to do the springboard off the bottom rope. It just messed up completely. Some of his footwork was kind of off. Kenny, there's not like the footwork is off. It's just him selling like he's tired already, like 5 minutes into a matchup. That type of stuff. That's how you know he's selling ring rust and not showing ring rust.
That's a good catch. I see this kid match. Apparently, it's instilled you with tremendous faith.
I just sent it to you. I just sent it to you. I got the. All you had to do was remind me, sir. That's all you had to do. We got Big Man Dogs. He says, I was watching AEW with a community who tried to be super positive about wrestling, and even they hate Death Riders. I'll never get over that Asian internet wrestling community award.
Moxley. Where's heel? Moxley. Where's babyface? Moxley. Where's angle? Moxley. God damn.
What are we doing? K Potatoes just had enough. He says, bro, if Kenny Omega isn't the champ in 3 to 5 months, I'm done watching this shit.
Jesus. I gotta take the belt off in the Revolution. I know a lot of you guys you think it's gonna be Edge. I think you're right. That match is that Revolution. The way they've slowed this thing down to a crawl. Good Lord.
I'm hoping at this point though they're listening to the fans and they just have Copeland win and then Christian cashes in on Cope. Because I think that's what they were gonna do with the Derby angle anyway. They were gonna have him dethrone Moxley just to put it on Christian right after. And then do Christian and Omega at Double or Nothing and get this shit done. Get this shit back on course.
Okay. So
we could do a Darby versus Moxley match at All In. Darby can beat him and then do something else with Darby. I don't know. Like, what are we doing? We got Alexander. He said, bro, Darby isn't The Rock. One thing for WWE to wait on The Rock and plan around him, but come on, AEW, it's Darby.
I know it sounds like we're shitting on Darby. I like Darby a lot.
No, we love Darby. We have literally on this show multiple times said he's one of the greatest TV wrestlers of all time. We love Darby. We were so for when the angle started. We were so for Darby winning the title from Moxley. But when you say that's the plan, and we're like, yeah, we're for it, and then you say, well, you got to wait 9 months. Okay, now we got that's not what we signed up for. That's not what we signed up. Literally, remember when this angle all started? I said they'll probably do Darby and Mox at Revolution because it's 1 year after Sting's retirement, and that's the place. And that would have been great. I think that works out perfect timing where we've already hit the peak of the storyline. The storyline has gone on way too much. Let's end it in March and move on. No, we have to wait 4 months after March.
Nah, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. I don't get anybody that much. Good Lord.
This angle is not good enough to do that. Like, you have to have a good angle to do something like that. That's how it works. We do have another super chat donation here from Chuck Berries. Good to see you in the chat today, Chuck Berries. Always appreciate your support.
Thank you. Fuck you. Bye.
Chuck Berry says, anyway, that TK screws up this Don Callis family / Omega and Will O feud like Trips did with Judgment Day, Terra Twins, Extended Saga. I hope not. Well, he already kind of botched the Don Callis Omega follow-up because he tried to add Jericho in it. Now he's just redoing it with someone better than Jericho. And I think, and I've heard nobody complain about this shit now. Coincidence? I think not.
Yeah, he already fucked this up. So we're gonna say this is part 2, take 2. We'll pretend like the first part didn't happen. Anyway, he fucks it up. I mean, no disrespect I'm not gonna say that. I don't think he'll screw it up. I'll say that. He can screw it up. He can screw up anything. Let's be completely clear. But there is no Liv Morgan in this feud. Sorry. There is no. I mean, there's like 3 Rheas in this feud. 3 Rheas and Fletcher.
And JD McDonald.
I don't see how you can screw this up. Like if Rhea was fucking fighting Io for 12 months, I don't think many people would be complaining. Yeah, let's do that again. Sure.
And the best part of Tony Khan as a booker is that he has the roster where he could just say, "Hey, this is the match we're gonna do. Go out there and have a great match."
Yeah,
that's the extent of his booking, and these guys are the guys that will be capable of doing that.
Yeah, I don't think he'll fuck it up.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the super chat donation, Chuck Berry. You guys have killed it today. Keep coming with those super chat donations. Always appreciate the support as always. Alex Powell says, SP3, I was having discourse with people saying how Takeshita versus Omega at Revolution is a good thing. And I was saying how bad of an idea it is because how having Omega win the international was dumb. Yeah, I don't want to see that. I want Takeshita to hold this title as long as humanly possible, so I don't want to see him versus Omega at Revolution. Even though I want to see that match again, just not right now.
Agreed. Omega should never win the international title. Roman can't win the fucking US title. He just can't. At this point in his life, he just can't do it anymore. You did that 6 years ago, fucking years ago. You can't do it now. Sorry. It screws everything up. You have the biggest star in the company, or second biggest star, whatever you consider Omega, with a secondary championship. It does not work. Sorry.
Yeah. I'd rather them do, if they're going to do singles matches out of this tag match, do Omega and Fletcher at Revolution and do Takeshita and Ospreay.
All right. Keep doing the Fletcher stuff. Sure. We'll keep pushing this thing. Awesome theory ass nigga.
I've just picked someone who can have a great match with Omega and lose. I'm thinking about you. I'm thinking about you. But we do hear from the Hurt Syndicate before tonight's 6-man tag team matchup, which will be the in-ring debut of MVP. Love the promo that they put out on social media. They gave us more of an edited version here, but MVP went over how he's putting up the suit, and he's putting up the suit and putting on his boots, and he's getting back into the ring. And he was like, I must be too good at bigging up my colleagues in the Hurt Syndicate, because you must have forgot that I am one of the longest reigning United States champions in the history of the title. You must have forgot I was the inaugural IWGP Intercontinental Champion. You must have forgot I have a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And tonight, he's going to prove that to Private Party and Mark Briscoe.
This was really good promo. Why? First of all, why is Lashley wrestling again? That's number one. Number two, why is MVP's first match back fucking randomly on that? Whatever. Sure. It was good. It was fine. Whatever. Let's go. I love how they're using the Hurt Syndicate, of course. Just fucking workhorse Negroes. This is insane. Lashley's a
workhorse Negroes. I'm done with
you. Gigantic star. Oh, he's not a gigantic star. He's a gigantic person, and he's a star. Why is he in these every week? He's supposed to be special. What the fuck? They do this all the time.
He is special. We've only seen one singles match. We get up next a New York Minute with Chris Jericho, who called Cincinnati the Bluegrass State. It is not. The Learning Tree talked about their upcoming 12-man tag team matchup on Collision Maximum Carnage, which Brian Keefe reminded us that's a dozen motherfuckers. Best line that Brian Keefe ever said in his goddamn life. Jericho's reaction and Big Bill's reaction to him saying he said a dozen motherfuckers. I was like, what the fuck? Jericho called Cope a dope who you just have to say nope to. And Brian Keefe says, he says Dax Harwood is no good. And Brian Keefe asking him, what about Cash Wheeler? He says Cash Wheeler is a kneeler. I mean, as like he kneels down to the King of New York. And Big Bill, like the fucking kiss ass boy, he says, good one, LT. Why is this entertaining to me? Jericho promised Shawn Moxley that the Learning Tree and Death Riders will be on the same page. This wasn't the best New York Minute segment, but goddamn, this is much better use than what they were doing before. the New York minutes.
Yeah, I'm about to say, yeah. So this wasn't the best New York minute because it wasn't a minute. It was longer than a minute. But
yeah, it was long. It was like 2 minutes.
Yeah, but Big Bill's fantastic. Even Brian Keith was pretty good. Who I usually don't.
A dozen motherfuckers.
This was fine. This was fine.
Oh my god. Marion Kiss says, speaking of gangsta promos done by Black Wrestling, have y'all seen the Booker T Zillavatu contract signing segment? No, I have not. So you can send me that. Send me that if you will on social media. I haven't seen anything. I've heard some interesting stuff about that, but I can't tell you the last time I watched Reality of Wrestling. Had to be like maybe 5 or 6 years ago. So.
Jesus.
We do have another super chat donation in the chat. Alexander Fitzgerald, thank you so much, good brother, for the support as always.
They go on Twitter. I don't see how this is going to work. This is absolutely ridiculous. Send.
Alexander says, how is the Hurt Syndicate a better group than the D-Riders and have the Hurt Syndicate be the main event attraction? The reason why the Hurt Syndicate are a better group than the D-Riders is because they're cool and they're over. Two things that the D-Riders were not.
They also have a consistent theme. They're all black and large. Pause. And
we know their mission statement, and we understand it, and we see how they are executing their mission statement.
There we go. They've never gone against the mission statement, which is very important. You can't seize the superstation with permission. That's not how seizing things works, ever. But I do like this idea. Let's combine both. At Revolution, all right, they are actually going for the tag titles. Fuck that. At Revolution, we're gonna do Moxley and you insert babyface and Lashley. And babyface wins. He pins Moxley. Obviously, we're not pinning Lashley. And then we're gonna go into a D-Riders Hurt Syndicate feud, and it ends at blood and guts with one team. Whoever loses has to disband. This is obviously not Lashley and company. This is the D-Riders. All those bums abandon Moxley. Lashley murders them, and then we're done. Ta-da! You're welcome.
There you go. Perfect. Simple and effective. I agree. King Potato says Hurt Syndicate don't have to say anything besides we hurt people.
What do you do? We hurt people. Oh,
we hurt people. We hurt people. I love that theme song. That theme song is so hard. It's
I
so
thought you
hard.
were crazy at first, but that is a pretty hard ass thing.
It's a hard ass thing. We hurt people. And then underneath you hear the ad lib. Somebody's gotta die. I listened to it all the way from the UK to here multiple times. So when I came back, I was like, yo, this theme is hard. This theme is hard. We got another super chat donation from LeVay Carter. Thank you so much, LeVay, for the support. You guys have been awesome today. We appreciate it so much.
You don't know shit.
He says, that's $2. That's $2, mofos. Thank you so much, LeVay. $2, motherfuckers. Gotta say it in our best Brian Keith voice. We got King Potato. He says Hurt Syndicate theme is #1 in wrestling. So goddamn good. And we got was it #1? It's definitely my top 3. I don't know what I would give #1 to right now. I would have to think about it. Maybe I'll think about it overnight. We'll see. Next up, we get Ricochet coming down to the ring to address everything that's happened with him and Swerve Strickland. The crowd is booing Ricochet out the fucking building, and I love it. This nigga has the gold scissors in his breast pocket. I was like, what the fuck? This nigga's walking around with a murder weapon. The crowd wouldn't let him talk at all. He is getting like Dominic Mysterio style heat from this crowd in Cincinnati, drowning him out with boos and then Swerve's house chants. Ricochet says that a picture is worth 1,000 words and shows the picture of the bloody attack on Strickland on the big screen. But then Swerve's music hits. He gets distracted by the entranceway, which allows Prince Nana to sneak in and hit him from behind with a steel chair. And then Nana has to throw in the dance on top of it as well. But to the surprise of many, 2 weeks after this bloody attack, Swerve Strickland is back. He slowly makes his way down to the ring with his signature steel chain. He goes to whip Ricochet with the steel chain, but Ricochet bails on out of here. He ran for higher ground. Strickland stalks him all the way out into the outside, into the snow. Ricochet chucked a security guard into Swerve and bailed through the door into the snow. It was announced later in the show, 3 weeks from this past Wednesday, on Wednesday, February 5th, in Atlanta, Georgia, it will be Swerve Strickland going one-on-one with Ricochet for the first time in All Elite Wrestling. What did you think about this segment here? What do you think about AEW announcing this match for 3 weeks in Atlanta, Georgia? What do you think about them making the match for the February 5th Dynamite and the segment overall?
When they announced this match, it was before 10 o'clock, before 9 o'clock. So gross. That's number one.
They announced it. They announced it later in the show.
No, that's right there. Horse shit. Not that. Don't add these niggas added minutes. 3 weeks from tonight, that's fine. Or from then, that's fine. It did make it feel like a bigger deal than it probably would be otherwise. How do I say this nicely? Atlanta, Georgia. Swerve in Atlanta, Georgia. Can you find a place Swerve would find more despicable than Atlanta fucking Georgia? I can't think of one. Maybe fucking Zimbabwe, but outside of that, I can't think of another place Swerve would hate than Atlanta fucking Georgia. That aside, I like the segment. The segment was fine. Ricochet doing his best, Dom stuff worked for me. It would work better if the crowd was probably mic'd. Just sound like they were kind of just booing. But like not loud enough where I can't talk over you. Just fucking microphone. It's a microphone. Makes everything bigger. It's easy. And Swerve was great. He felt like a star. Nano was hilarious as per usual. Wins all around. This was solid.
Yeah, and it was quick. It was a quick segment that accomplished probably more than what we would get in a 14-minute segment later in the show.
14 minutes. Oh yeah,
14 minutes.
Quarter hour.
Yeah, gotta get
I'm telling you, it's gonna look ridiculous. That spike, like this, straight up and down.
Nikki Boy says, I really like this direction they're going with Ricochet, though. More of this. I was discussing this with Kate, and I think that this is a trend that might go forward in the years to come. But I feel like Ospreay started the trend of fucking what would prototypically be 10 years ago, the flippy, high-flying wrestler now has to develop a fucking character. Like Ospreay made that possible with this whole the everyday bruv character, the soccer hooligan from the UK that came into AEW. We've seen it on like a lower level in the independent scene with someone like a Blake Christian, who was kind of like a flippy, high-flying guy. Now he's developed into this swarmy heel character, and now you're seeing it with Ricochet in AEW, where he's developed now a character to go along with what he can do in the ring.
Yeah, no disrespect to any of those guys, but what you do isn't particularly special anymore. Flipping and shit. So what? That's the entire indie scene, and has been since Matt and Nick discovered Shawn Michaels and ruined the wrestling business. But that aside, you developed the character, and now then you stick out from the other flippy guys. And I'm happy for Ricochet. I did not think it'd be working out this well. It is working out splendidly so far. I must say, this new heel character is fantastic.
Yeah. And we got Alexander who says, do you still see Ricochet eventually joining the Hurt Syndicate? His character now doesn't fit that.
No. First of all,
he should be on his own.
Yeah. He's a nerd, for lack of a better word.
He's a fucking school shooter. That's his character.
Yeah. He's a nerd.
He's a nerd who had enough and started committing crimes.
The Hurt Syndicate are cool. They just are. If you're not cool, you're not going to the group. It just doesn't work that way.
Do you think who do you think would fit with Hurt Syndicate now?
I would really like Max Caster, only because I just like the dynamics, the complete opposite of the Hurt Syndicate. But I was kind of hoping, to go back to somebody's point earlier about the D Riders, was kind of hoping they saved Hobbs.
Saved Hobbs.
Like Hobbs showed how badass he is. He kicked out all that shit. You know what? He's in. We'll go save this guy.
That would have been dope. That would have been dope. And it would have came on a much quicker time than fucking rated R FTR. Anyway.
Yeah. We need to have a conversation about how racist FTR is. What the fuck?
It's like, we're going to wait. Hit our music now. I would say they did a good job with this video package that we had next. We get a video package of the latest media tour for the TBS champion, the CEO, Mercedes Moné, who says that she's been running around doing all her media. We see her on the Sherry Shepherd show and Sirius XM. She says, when we're done doing media, we gotta go shopping. And we see her shopping for jewelry, getting some new Monet Talks rings. And then she says when she's done with the shopping, she has to train and get ready for her next big matches. And we see her at the Creative Pro Wrestling gym or training, having all her belts. And she tells us that money changes everything. If this is how we do Mercedes Moné promos from here on out, we may get the character part back on track like we did the in-ring, because this made her look like she's the biggest female star in wrestling. Like I was like, this shit took less than a minute, and this is the best character work we've done on TV for Mercedes Moné in 6 months.
Yeah, she finally felt a little fleshed out. I won't go crazy. She's not Hangman, but it's fine enough, I suppose. Yeah, just keep her off the microphone. Only mic should be speaking into should be in the camera. Otherwise, the boom mic. Keep all other microphones outside of her hands. This was well done. What we gotta do is stop doing these fucking catchphrases, and it would be perfect.
Yeah, it just sounds so scripted. Like, just stop, homegirl. Just stop, homegirl. I agree with you, Big Man Does. Like, I think I was just like my whole thoughts on this show center around one segment, but that was in the second hour. I agree. The first hour was pretty damn good. We get up next the Hurt Syndicate going up against Mark Briscoe and Private Party. This one was pretty much domination from the Hurt Syndicate for the most part. MVP wrestled a few times on the indies at the end of last year, but prior to that, it had been over 2 years since he has competed on wrestling television. Meanwhile, this is Private Party's first match on Dynamite since winning the AEW World Tag Team titles on the October 30th Fright Night episode of Dynamite. Yes, when Bobby Lashley debuted in the company. Hurt Syndicate wasted no time attacking at the bell as MVP and Briscoe were slugging it out. Zay and Quinn got beat down on the outside by Lashley and Shelton. Briscoe answered with some redneck kung but MVP regained control. He got to hit his ball-in elbow drop for a 2 count, but Briscoe ducked a clothesline, hit a leaping back elbow into a double down. Made the hot tag to Zay, who came in running wild on Benjamin until Quinn tagged in and he hit a series of drop kicks. They held the ropes open as Briscoe hit a somersault dive onto Lashley, MVP, and Benjamin were flattened back inside as MVP and Zay tumbled outside as Quinn laid out Benjamin with a flatliner, which looked more like the pay dirt, Shelton's old finisher. Lashley launched Benjamin with an overhead belly-to-belly suplex as Private Party hit Poetry in Motion on Shelton. Lashley got back into the ring. He squashed Quinn with the spine buster, hit a spear on Zay. Benjamin hits his big thrust kick right to Quinn, taking his head off. 1, 2, 3 as MVP hits a charging knee on Briscoe at ringside. The Hurt Syndicate pick up the victory here. And I thought this was booking-wise, layout-wise, this is exactly what it needed to be. This was Hurt Syndicate dominating, Briscoe and the Private Party getting their hope spot, and then Hurt Syndicate just overwhelming them, largely due to Bobby Lashley beating the hell out of everybody. Lashley was the X Factor here. Lashley just came in and washed everybody in the ring and then gave Benjamin the win.
Yeah. I love the Hurt Syndicate, obviously. I feel a little bad for Private Party. I ain't going to hold you. Because
1,000%.
This reign has not been impressive. It's been on the back burner, number one. That is on the front burner. They're getting their ass beat. I can't see how this ends. If Lashley's in the match, unless you're going to switch to MVP and Shelton going for the tag belts. If Lashley's in the match, This match, you've seen Justice League, right? Fucking the one everybody hated, the one recently with Henry Cavill, where Superman dies and he comes back at the end. I remember watching that movie and going, the way they built up Superman, he needs to come back and the movie needs to end right away. You built him up as this thing that the movie can't end any other way with him destroying the villain. And that's exactly what happens. If Lashley's in the match, this shouldn't really be a match. It should be a murder, and Private Party should get squashed in 5 minutes. It just is. Now, if you're going to move the MVP and Shelton, sure. I guess they could pull off a victory. I don't see how with Flash in the match at all, even a little bit. Those are their belts. Sorry.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yep. We got Big Man Does. He says, you could tell that they just put the titles on Private Party due to Twitter asking for it. No, they didn't do it for Twitter asking for it. They did it because they didn't want to put the titles on Outrunners because that was the original idea.
It's so weird. It's so weird. I don't even understand. If this was if you had no real plans for Private Party, why not do the Outrunners thing? I don't get why we're against the Outrunners thing. It's gonna last a month. It'll be on Collision. It'll be fine. I'm confused.
It's so baffling. When now that we're here, fucking 3 months later, it's like, why? Like, seriously, why did you do that? There was no reason to put the titles on Private Party if you weren't going to do anything with them.
Yeah, I mean, we get the moment. It's a nice moment. And because they're originals, you want to fucking boost some morale? I don't know.
And like, you didn't even pay off the one thing that basically set this shit up was Moxley and the Death Riders attacking them. You didn't even pay that off. Didn't even say that's the thing that propelled them to the tag team titles.
Nope.
It's like y'all had the story and then didn't tell it. Y'all did the story and then didn't tell it.
Fucking idiots. Fucking idiots.
What? This is like I'm gonna put it in terms that everybody can understand. This is like fucking I don't know. I know Jimmy's gonna be like, who the fuck has watched that or watched that recently? But Cinderella. It's a simple story that most people understand. This is like Cinderella getting the fairy godmother, getting the makeover, getting the new dress, and then she doesn't go to the party. That's basically Private Party's title run. They are Cinderella if Cinderella decided not to go to the party and meet the prince.
That's a pretty good way to put it. It also doesn't help fucking Moxley crew because fucking they look like idiots. You said these guys couldn't do it. They just did it. They didn't do much with it, but they did it. You guys are really not good at this. Oh, good Lord. Yeah. Damn. Wow.
Yes, I agree with Big Bad Dogs. He says Private Party and Danny Garcia come off as assholes for ignoring the Death Riders after getting their titles. Yes.
Got ours. Y'all better figure this shit out.
Y'all ain't figuring it out. We ain't helping no more. We ain't coming out no more. We can't help Powerhouse Hobbs. Powerhouse Hobbs can't help him. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. We got our 10th super chat donation from Brandon Brown. Thank you so much, good brother, for the support, hitting our goal for this stream here. We appreciate you.
Free Stokely. He should be the 6th guy to jump. Free Stokely.
Yo, I'm like, there has to be something up because they were starting a story with him and then they completely dropped it. So I'm thinking that something happened with Stokely, why he hasn't been on TV or anything. But thank you so much, Brandon Brown. Super chat, number 10 goal reach. So I put in the chat our goal, 10 super chats, and then you decide, what do you want us to do? I am free on Sunday, so I will do any type of stream you want me to do, whether it's watching some New Japan, watching some old WWE. You decide what we're going to do. Well, I'll do a stream on Sunday after I'm done with work. I'll do a stream for y'all for hitting our goal for today. Thank you so much, guys. But let me know in the live chat. Let me know in the comments if you're watching us on demand what you guys want us to do as far as a live stream on Sunday for y'all for hitting our goal here. We got Myron Kidd with a good question. Where the hell is Stokely? And then we also got Power Driver Finisher who says, hear me out. Stokely and LWO.
Sold. First of all, you're bullshitting. I'm sold. Dead ass for real. Them guys he's yelling Spanish and then Stokely pretend like he understands and just fucking translating it on his own. Come on, man. Come on, man. Hey, man. He said I'm a killer, but don't push me.
That's Tupac. Hanukkah, you know what? I might do that. I might do it. A TNA Genesis watch along. Y'all want me to do that? We could watch Tessa being racist. We can see if Joe Hendry, the TNA finally fucking pulls the trigger on Joe Hendry. Let me know. Let me know.
Oh, right.
Oh yeah. What did you think about the WWE and TNA official partnership now?
Official partnership. I love that. Getting ass fucked officially. Sure.
What?
The words and opinions of Jimmy Macram do not necessarily reflect those of True Heel Heat, its viewers, or affiliates.
That's crazy. Imagine putting that on paper. We're now
fucked officially.
Now I'm getting ass fucked. And probably announcing Nikata's ass fucking me. That was beautiful. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Officially.
It's fine. I don't expect many. They're not buying They're not buying TNA. My guess would be they can't. Not that they can't, but Endeavor's had some issues with I don't want to get too technical. Monopolies, essentially.
Yeah.
UFC got sued a little while ago. You can't buy TNA, especially with AEW not doing great. It doesn't look good for lawsuits and such. But hey, listen, WWE's gonna do what they do, which is they take and take and take. And if they give you something along the way, you got to fucking smile and nod and be thankful. But this is not a partnership. This is, I say jump, and you say how high, and then we move on.
The press release pretty much admitted that this is not really a partnership, because when they did, such TNA stars as Joe Hendry, the Jordan Grays, the Rascals, that's it. They came over from TNA to WWE, and then meanwhile, WWE NXT talents: Charlie Dempsey, Sol Ruka, Jada Parker, Wendy Chu, Zachary Wesley. We had this person, that person. We had our janitor over there. We had our lunch person. We had the cafeteria lady. They all went to TNA. That should tell you how much of a partnership this is.
Yeah, you're partnered with their developmental. You, a full-grown man, are partnered with the 7-year-old kid. Like this is not a partnership. Sorry, you just train my kid like I tell you to train my kid, and that's it. I don't want to hear nothing else. Sorry.
You're not a school. You're an after school.
I feel
we got teachers here and shit. What are you doing? You're a daycare. What are you...
Hey, man.
We sent our kids there. We got nothing to do when we're at work. What are you doing?
Yeah, you gotta be just happy with whatever the fuck they send you. I assume they're signing a check of some kind, I would imagine. Yeah. That'd be giving them some money, but that's it.
Yeah, I mean, it's keeping TNA afloat. I'm gonna say this because we're deep into the show, and because I don't know if I've told this to Jimmy yet. I know I have said this on the channel before on the flagship, but maybe some of y'all watching, we do have a bunch of y'all watching, 145. Remember, drop the thumbs up if you haven't already on any of the platforms that you're watching on. But I have it on good authority. I heard from someone within the business who has sources that TNA basically made an offer to Tony Khan to buy the promotion within the last 2 years. So the WWE partnership from last year improved their ticket sales. It made them have a positive year as far as perception and as far as their ticket sales, which they have really pretty much became a TV ticket sale company. AEW, WWE, they're TV companies. They make most of their money off of their TV revenue. TNA is not in that position because they're owned by a TV company. So they have become a ticket selling company, and they had a great year in regards to that. This partnership is going to continue to keep them afloat, where they will work as a outlier basically of WWE. They'll never be as big as even NXT, but they'll be afloat and they'll be keeping in business, and you'll have another platform, another wrestling promotion for guys to work at. So I think that is a positive thing. I think that the partnership can be a positive for both TNA and WWE, but long term, WWE is the only one that's going to benefit.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not telling you. If there was a homeless person on the street, that's probably too dark for an example. I probably shouldn't use that example. That's really dark. Can I make the PG? Sure, let's give it a shot. If there was a homeless person on the street and he needed money to survive, and he said, yeah, you can come inside my house. If you do, you guys can fill in whatever this guy wants him to do to get paid and to keep food on the This isn't really like a partnership. This is you do what I say or you get the fuck out. I mean, that's what you said. Sorry. Don't do that. Don't do that, kids. It's fucking gross. Don't do that, kids. You should help everybody if you can help.
Big Man Dog says they just see TNA as a gym for their NIL talents to get reps in.
A gym is crazy. A gym.
Chuck Berry says TNA was the worst kept secret, and we also got Big Man Dog who says total nonstop daycare. Will Chesnam says, what is Marigold to WWE SP3? Marigold and Noah is a foreign exchange program. That's all it is. It's a foreign exchange program. We get to send some people over there. They'll send some people over here. Foreign exchange program. We got Annika who says, why wouldn't TK take that? Because he just fucking got Ring of Honor, and that was a big fucking waste of money.
Yeah. So what's he gonna do with it? Just run into the ground like this. Maybe he actually learned some mistakes. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I was actually proud of Tony Khan. I was like, wait, when the person told me that, I looked at them like, Tony Khan restraint? It's like, where did he do that? That's new. Okay.
I mean, I know we're shitting on TNA. I wish TNA was in a better spot. Matter of fact, I was hoping that Punk and Ospreay went there together. Could have made them something. But instead, they're where they are. They're number 3, and by like a lot. That's only 3 count as NXT is part of WWE. Otherwise, it's 4 by a lot.
And yeah, technically they're still number 3 because I still think New Japan has a bigger foothold in America than even TNA, who's based in America, does. But we got King Potatoes says TK dodged the bullet. We got Alexander who says TK said that's a sinking ship. We also got Big Man Does who says WrestlePeers people speculated that they might get a CW TV deal. It depends. I mean, if they are going to do that, then they better do it now. They better capitalize on that big rating for New Year's Evil. That's the only way you're going to get it. Capitalize on that big rating of them nearly 1 million for New Year's Evil and be like, hey, we got another wrestling show for you to get. How about that?
That could work. Jesus. I'm not mad at that. I hope so. Listen, the more wrestling, the better.
I am with you there.
Yeah.
We got Alexander says WWE used ROH in a way back in the day, signing a bunch of ROH talent. WWE is doing the same with TNA. Oh no, they did the same with TNA. They used to do the same with both of them. They used to just be non-affiliated feeders to WWE. Yes.
Listen, I know Vince isn't there anymore. So you think, but that doesn't mean capitalism has changed. It all works the same way. If it doesn't benefit me, I'm not going to do it ever.
Yeah. We got Power Driver Finisher says TK has standards. Like, where we do that at? Huh? All right. At this point, we get announcement that Adam Copeland. My bad. Sorry, guys. The rated R superstar Cope. He will be in action next week, going one-on-one with 1/3 of the AEW Trio Champion Pack of the Death Riders. We saw them brawling on Collision last Saturday. Then we also got a quick video package recapping the friendship of Cope and FTR and how they created Rated FTR. What do you think about Cope and Pack next week?
As long as it doesn't go 35 minutes like that fucking Edge and Buddy Matthews match.
You'll never forgive him for that, will you?
Never. Fuck is Edge wrestling for 35 minutes for? Good Lord. Is it Christian? Is it some type of stip? No, it's Buddy Matthews. In a match nobody expected him to win. Good Lord. Listen, Pac is...
I'm pretty sure it was like 20 minutes, but it just felt like 35 to you.
Somebody gotta look this up. It's longer than 20 minutes. It's longer than 20 minutes.
I'll look it up right now for you. Adam Copeland versus Buddy Matthews.
Cage match.
Yeah. Cage match is the fastest way to get the answer to this. Let's see. Cage match. It says here, what was it? 20. No. I have to go to the card and then scroll up. 21 minutes.
Damn, you're right.
I said that. It was 20 minutes, but it felt like 35. I was like, that would make it one of the longest Dynamite matches of all time.
I really have no interest in Edge. I'm sorry. I like Pac. He's part of this awful group. He's a great wrestler. Edge is blasphemy. I'm not sure he's ever been as good as Pac is ever, like in his life, as a wrestler, as a pure in-ring competitor.
Yeah, in the ring, yeah.
And he's now significantly slower, and then he broke his foot. My guess is he's not that guy anymore. He wasn't the first guy. He's not the second guy. He's the third guy now. I'm not sure how good he is. From a 90 to a fucking 84 to a 76. I don't know.
And it just felt better when he was in the TNT title picture because it felt like a legendary star who was elevating that division and a part of a storyline that had a whole bunch of history behind it with Christian Cage. Whereas here, he just feels so forced into this picture.
Everything with FTR feels forced these days. It's just whatever FTR, we got it. Get it.
Honestly, I feel like I would be much more into this if it was just Rated FTR versus the Death Riders and not Mox versus Cope.
Oh, certainly. Please. Mox versus... It's a terrible idea. Full stop.
Full stop. Agreed. I do agree with you, though, Annika. The match with Big Bill was good. Big Bill, man. He's going up there. He's getting up in the world. All right. Now I gotta wipe.
Oh, here?
Yep. Jeff Jarrett comes out for a promo. He gets a nice ovation from the Cincinnati, Ohio crowd. He says the last few weeks have been very humbling for him before immediately being interrupted by MJF's music. MJF comes down to the ring and he says that he gave Jarrett an opportunity of a lifetime last week, but was turned down. Jarrett cut him off and said MJF was too lazy to enter the casino gauntlet and tried to scheme. When MJF screamed for Jarrett to never interrupt him again, MJF cooled down and says that Jarrett is a living legend. No, he says that he's a living legend and that Jarrett has convinced these dumb schmucks that he's one too. MJF said that Jarrett is the last outlaw because he's the last thing you see before your favorite wrestling company dies.
End promo. Good job. Let's go.
MJF called Jarrett a pro wrestling Grim Reaper and said thinking of his career makes him want to drink. I know that's a touchy subject for you. And he called Jarrett a recovering alcoholic and said that he'll send Jarrett's ass packing right back to rehab where he belongs. But he tells him to make sure that his sexy MILF of a wife sticks around as he's a big fan of Karen. But when he's done with her, he'll ship her back to Nashville so Jarrett knows what a generational talent and Olympic gold medalist's balls taste like.
Jesus.
Jarrett responds and he's laughing. He says that all MJF does is make cruel insults and said that he knows that his best years are behind him. But entering the Owen Hart Cup last year made him realize he still wants to keep going. Jarrett said that it's exactly what's needed to get him on track to become the AEW World Champion. MJF thinks that he can hurt Jarrett's feelings, but he did everything like this before MJF did it, and he did it better than him. And he missed saying the line, and you know it. I was like, that was so obvious, and you're just not on your game here. Jarrett is confused whether MJF is a dumbass, a scumbag, or all of the above, which the fans then answer him that he's our scumbag. So you're just a jackass because you mentioned something that they would just embrace, idiot. Jarrett says that it must be tough being raised by a call girl of a mother.
Shit.
And knows for a fact when his father knocked his mother up, she still made him pay for that shit.
What the fuck? Gangsta Jeff Jarrett, orange.
Jarrett said the old saying is where we marry our mothers, and MJF's is nothing but a Canadian call girl. That went over like a wet fart. While MJF was burning it up for 60 minutes with Will Ospreay, his old lady was doing the same thing with a bunch of wrestlers in the back.
Jesus.
Jarrett said MJF is drowning in his own shit, an entitled prick, a scared little boy who won't enter the gauntlet, scared of becoming a one-hit wonder. MJF says that he didn't need his daddy to make him a top guy or start his own company to be a top guy. MJF made MJF. We know what happens when Jarrett is the king of the mountain, while MJF is to thank for the record pay-per-view buys and ticket sales and is the best in the world. But then he got screwed over. His name, his reputation, his legacy dragged through the mud. As he doesn't want to win the world title, he needs to win the world title to shove it down all of his detractors' throats. But he has to wait in line for Jeff Jarrett? With all due respect, no wrestling fan has ever given a shit about Jarrett. What pisses MJF off is just because Jarrett was best friends with Owen Hart, he's owed a grand finale, but he sees through his bullshit. Jarrett is nothing more than a leech, riding the coattails of his deceased friend, which led to Jarrett finally popping MJF right in the mouth with a punch. He got down on the mat and started punching him even more until security hit the ring to pull him back. Jarrett would still not let go, would still not stop attacking MJF until Karen Jarrett came in. She tried to calm Jeff down, pulled him off from MJF, but MJF, like a fucking hostage figure, he fucking grabbed Karen, threw her into Jeff before bailing out of the ring. Now, all right, so I have to dissect this whole segment. The beginning premise of everything, it was fine. It was pretty much a rehash of last week, but it was basically just driving home what this whole issue these two men have, to us. Basically, they were driving home the point. And then MJF going edgelord. That's what MJF does. We literally just saw this in August. He did the same style of promo, face-off promo with Will Ospreay in Cardiff, where he tries to needle at his rival. They don't sell it. He tries to needle them some more. They don't sell it. Then he goes too far. He crosses the line, and they sell it. They attack him, and he has to get pulled off, and he bails like the chicken shit heel, or he gets the last act of it all. It's the response. Whereas Will Ospreay responds to MJF, like calling him British, saying he has bad teeth and all that, was I don't care what you say. I'm better than you in this ring. I'm better than you on the mic. Basically putting himself over, not bringing in any of MJF's family members or girlfriends into things, and just making the story about the two people in the ring. What we got here was 14 minutes of two guys saying, your girl's a bigger slut than mine. I'm good. Not in 2025. I'm good. I don't ever need to see 14 minutes of this shit. 14 minutes. And MJF played his character as perfectly as he could. He even tried to bring it back to what the story was about after Jarrett said what he said. But Jarrett completely bombed this segment with what he said in response. You got Dave Meltzer's dumbass over here making a big deal. Oh, MJF, he upset a lot of people by saying Jeff Jarrett is the first thing you see before your favorite company dies, because, you know, there's people out there saying the company dies, and that's the reason why this segment didn't work. No, it had nothing to do with that one line. That one line may have pissed off some people backstage, but everything Jeff Jarrett said disgusted me. It made me sympathetic to fucking Alicia too, and MJF's mother, who seems like the sweetest lady ever. I met MJF's mother. She's a sweet lady. What the fuck is this? Her old, and how old are you? What are you, fucking 75? Calling her a call
girl? All right, where do we begin?
This set the bar for me for the worst Dynamite segment of the year. Set the bar.
Ooh. I want to start with Alicia too. She's a rat. We know this. She's a snitch. So no. She might not be a whore, but she's a snitch. It is what it is. You guys can argue about it if you like.
I'd rather have him shoot like that. Be like, while you were doing 60 minutes, your girlfriend was back there snitching.
This was not very good. I'm not gonna. First of all, there's a couple of things that could have made this work. I think replacing Jeff Jarrett is probably number one on the list. I mean, he's the old version of MJF. You can sell that to maybe somebody who's 20, not to me. Was never MJF, ever. He never talked like MJF, ever. He was never the biggest star in the company, no matter how much he and Vince Russo tried to make it so. Never, ever. That's number one. Number two, he's never a promo guy. I can't think who I would use here. Everybody else is too old. Like if this was the Snake or something like that, okay, yeah, I get it. I see the.
Did you disconnect your mic again? I love the fact that when you saw it.
I know it right away. It's always annoying. Yeah, none of this worked. None of this worked for me. I appreciate what you're saying about MJF, but I said a few months ago I was taking him out of my all-time top 10, and this is why. Like, yeah, we did hear this before, because we did hear this before. This is the only promo he does, unless he's gonna give us some more Bill and backstory, which I enjoy. I'm not. It's the same promo over and over and over again. And even though he seems a little more motivated against Jeff than he was against Adam Cole and them, thank God. And Jeff couldn't hang with MJF in his prime. He's not hanging with him now with Call Girl and whatever the fuck else he was babbling about. That was wild. Your mom was sleeping with guys in the back? What?
It's like, what the fuck? What is this? Man. This would have worked in 1995, not in 2025. Yeah,
that's a wild choice. And it went too long. I don't know if that was because they were trying to find a spot. MJF maybe trying to get him back on track, and then Jeff, I don't know, not finding his way in. None of this worked for me. I get why they did it. It did a big number last week, but what the fuck do I care? Shit was bad.
It was good last week. It was not this week. Yeah. And it went about 10 minutes longer than it probably should have.
Yeah. I don't know what we need. Oh, I will say I did like the finish. That was some good character stuff. MJF taking a hostage is hilarious.
I did laugh at MJF taking it hostage. I did laugh. I'm not gonna front. I literally I was like had a smile on at the beginning of the segment. Jarrett starts talking about call girls. I'm like,
Call girls is hilarious.
I was like this until MJF grabbed Carrie, and I was like, all right, that broke me. That got me to smile again. But like, yo, what the hell? Call girls?
Call girls insane. Your wife is a minx. She's a floozy. What the fuck?
What are we doing? Like if MJF would have responded, it's like, oh, we talking about mama. I would have popped, and then I would have been like, you know what? This segment was worth it. Big
Lord.
Man Dog says I might have to revoke my request for Jeff Jarrett to become the booker of AEW. Would still be better than Toni though.
Well, that's true. Good Lord.
No, he would win the AEW world title, which would be the death of this company.
Did Meltzer really say that, by the way? That people are concerned AEW's dying and having MJF?
No, they're not. They're not concerned AEW's dying. They're concerned that there's people out there that are still saying that, and then you said that on your show.
Well, if it's not true, it's not true. If it is true, it is true. I'm gonna tell you which one. What is MJF saying you're gonna do? You want
exactly. That's why I was like, you're making way too much of it. I didn't like the line too much, but you're making way too much of a big deal about this because the line was not even true. There's only been one company he showed up in that died afterwards. It was WCW. That's it.
This is very true. And I gotta blame Jeff Jarrett for that, but
no,
I'm not gonna say his hands are fucking clean. No disrespect.
It
wasn't his fault. I'll put it that way.
He did get 5 reigns in a year, so.
As a not deserving of one reign ass motherfucker. No disrespect. I don't care what Vince Russo says. Don't no. Scott Steiner's right there. This might work with like a Scott Steiner. Now I think about it.
Yeah, maybe he's going against Scott Steiner. This works. Project Finisher
Your
says
mother's a whore. She's always been a dirty whore. No, shut up.
You're the whore. She's a foolsy. Project Finisher says classic babyface. Your girlfriend's a whore promo.
Oh, it's insanity. I'm here for it. That was terrible.
Oh man. Alexander says the only part of the promo I enjoyed was the Owen Hart line. I was fine with that only because I know how AEW is with Owen. They had to call Martha before they even said that. Before they even thought about adding that to the promo. They probably called Martha and be like, is it okay? Are you sure?
Yeah. And I gotta be honest, I felt that way about the Jay Briscoe stuff. He's not insulting Owen. He just isn't.
No.
So I'm not entirely sure what to say about.
But like it is, and it's MJF. We know the type of things MJF could say. that was not an insult. That was not an insult at all. That was an insult to Jeff. That was not to Owen.
That would have been fucking. Oh man, yeah. I'm not gonna say I wanted him to say this stuff, but it would have been. It's more interesting at the very least. Second best brother. Probably said he's in hell somewhere. I've been here for it.
Bell saying, I've seen Bell say this a few times over the last couple of weeks. She says, why are we doing the Jeff Jarrett final year or Jeff Jarrett chasing number 14 thing? Isn't this also going on in WWE with one of the biggest stars ever? Or am I imagining things? It's not the same because I feel like they're more with the Jarrett thing. They're more trying to do the Ric Flair retirement run more than they're doing the John Cena retirement run.
Do we hear these names you're throwing out here?
Yeah,
Ric Flair and John Cena.
Yeah,
and
Jeff Jarrett should not. Jeff Jarrett should not be here. The fact that we got another Jeff Jarrett segment on this goddamn show with him and someone else acting like they're fucking Triple H and the Undertaker talking about they're the last outlaws. What the fuck are we doing in this company?
It's fucking hysterical.
We got Nicky Boy. He said, I hated all of this. Well,
oh, yeah, all of it's pretty bad. But
oh man, Annika's right. Christian Cage would have been the perfect person to do this with MJF.
Yeah, that's a good call. That's a good shout. That's good. MJF's father alive. I hope so. Good Lord.
Joe Pearl in the chat. Thank you, Joe, for joining me earlier this week on our TNA Genesis preview. He says, did Jeff Jarrett call them call girls because all the women they needed to run this by to make it okay? Karen, Alicia, Dr. Martha, Maxis. Yo, they had to call like everybody.
Oh my God. And it just kept getting whittled down. First, he was going to drop the C-bomb. Then it was twat. And then it was whore. And now all of a sudden, we're down to call girl.
Call girl.
Lord.
It was probably Martha. Martha was like,
call girl. No, I said Martha, they don't call them that anymore. Oh, all right. Good Lord.
Alexander said, Jeff Jarrett, your mama call girl, you job turkey.
Job turkey. Once you reach call girl, shouldn't you throw the whole thing out? You know what? Is it even worth it?
When the writer writes it down, he should be like, you know what? I don't think we should do this promo. This is the best we can come up with.
You can't get rid of whore or hooker. Let's fuck it. Just throw it away. Call girl.
Fuck it. Call girl. Like what? What does that mean?
It's such an old phrase. It's hilarious. And Jeff's like, what does that even mean? Call that what?
What do you need? No, MJF should have said, what do you need to call my mother about?
A lady of the night. Greg, that's crazy.
Oh my God, I can't breathe. We get a video package hyping up Saturday's Collision. It's going to be for the AEW Continental Championship. Kazuchika Okada makes his first defense since winning the Continental Classic as he goes one-on-one with Tomohiro Ishii. These two men have a bunch of history together, being in the Chaos faction back in New Japan Pro Wrestling. They had a little altercation backstage on Collision last week to set up this title match coming up on Saturday. Should be a very good one there. So we'll see what happens.
Who's he friends with? Ishii. How's he getting these spots?
Okada.
There you go.
That's his friend. Next up, we get Hook going one-on-one with Christian Cage. I can't believe that this rivalry started off in October, and this is the first singles match these two men are having.
All right.
We get a Hook right from the entrance of Christian Cage. He jumps him from behind, kickstart in this one. We get a brief stare down with him and Mother Wayne as Christian tried to bail up the ramp, but was backdropped over the top into the ring. Cage backed off and tried apologizing to Hook. He then tried to hug Hook, opening his arm, trying to embrace him as a son, who turned it into an overhead suplex, which I love that. After the commercial break, Kip Sabian and Nick Wayne came out to corner Christian as Kazuchika Shibata came out to back up Hook. Cage was sent over the top rope to the outside as Hook hit a diving forearm off the apron. Hook tried to stomp on the hand of Christian on the ring steps, but Christian swept the leg and Hook landed spine first on the edge of the steel steps. Nasty bump there. Back inside, Christian starts running off. He hits 3 back-to-back frog splashes, only getting a 2 count. He wanted a spear, but Hook was able to avoid it. He struggled to recover, so Christian was able to ultimately hit the spear, but Hook kicked out. Hook battled back with some clotheslines and some throws. He hits a fisherman suplex for a 2 count. He applies the red rum. Christian climbed the ropes to break it, so Hook just sent him crashing down, just letting him go. Hook started landing some cross faces, but Christian slid through the red rum and posted Hook. Shibata held off Wayne and Sabian from attacking Hook, but Christian laid out Shibata with a reverse DDT on the floor. Back inside, Christian wanted a kill switch, but Hook countered into the red rum, which led to Sabian and Nick Wayne getting into the ring to jump Hook to cause the disqualification. The Patriarchy went to Pillmanize Hook's arm once again when Taz was about to leave the commentary table, but to probably another one of the biggest pops on this show, Samoa Joe's music hits, and Samoa Joe comes down to the ring. He cleans house to a massive ovation from the Cincinnati crowd. Kip Sabian and Nick Wayne were tossed around, destroyed by Shibata and Joe, as Christian and Mother Wayne retreated, and Joe stood tall with his Pulp Fiction crew of Shibata and Hook to stand tall in this one. I mean, if you ask me, one of the most underrated rivalries in TNA history is Samoa Joe versus Christian Cage. I'm here for this. I'm much here for this than Joe coming back to try to get revenge on Chris Jericho. I much prefer this. This is the direction I much prefer this. I much prefer him getting involved in this rivalry. Maybe we could get a Samoa Joe versus Christian Cage matchup out of all this. They tore it up about nearly 20 years ago now in TNA. And I think they could still tear it up 20 years later in AEW, but love having Samoa Joe back. It feels slowly but surely with every return, I'm just like, okay, it feels like we're getting this roster to full health. We're not going to have, hopefully, if we can get them for full health and they stay healthy, we won't have more people in Niggas Always Hurt than in any other bracket of our tier list for 2025. Jimmy, what did you think about Hook versus Christian and the Joe return? The match itself wasn't too enthused. I think that we are really seeing that Hook just hasn't truly improved. Like he's still very much what he was 2-3 years ago. He still is. I think that he has to get more reps as well as working with guys like Christian a lot more. But this was fine for what it was, but the post matches was going to get the most attention.
Yeah, Hook is exactly the same, and I don't know why he wouldn't be. He doesn't have long matches with stars. Much like we said about Jade. It's like she hasn't improved because she has squash matches. I'm not entirely sure to tell you. You got to throw this motherfucker into the pool eventually, and it's the same thing that'll be. I get that you want to hear with Bianca, but eventually, if you're going to find out what she is or she ain't, you got to throw her into the deep end. Same thing with Hook, and I hope that fucking happens. I totally forgot Chris Jericho took him out. Samoa Joe, that is. Totally slipped my mind. And I'm happy to have it slip my mind. We're done with that, apparently. Look at Joe. What a veteran. Doesn't care about his own revenge. Cares about saving Hook. What a good guy.
Yep.
I hope we wrap up this 6-man tag and then we move straight into Joe and Christian. Just fucking done with that. We're going on Joe and Christian. Please and fucking thank you. Oh, they dropped the quarter hours, by the way, for Dynamite. Big open, as one would expect.
How much?
That was 8:31.
I looked at that final number. I was like, first quarter had to do over 800.
Yeah, 8:31 and then 7:03, which is both higher than usual. You can thank Kenny Omega for that. Jarrett and MJF did well, not as well as I thought, but they got a bump. About the same as the Women's Casino Battle Royal, which got a big bump.
That's good.
When that's with the lowest rated segment. Yeah, right? So respecting this bitch. Lowest rated segment of the night. Take a shot at it.
The main event?
Of course it is. Sorry. You guys can keep pushing this Moxley thing if you like. And I'm sure there's great YouTube numbers, but I hope they enjoyed that $67 in AdSense. What about fucking the TV show? Good Lord. Anyway.
What did Omega close in the show last weekend in the main event?
Give me half a second.
Yeah. Look, I just wanted to know if there is if we could say, okay, there's clear proof Kenny Omega's the bigger draw in the main event than Don Moxley. But we got Nikki Boy. He says, for real, seeing Joe and Christian together again. Pop me. We got Annika who says, don't say it. Jericho will hear you.
It did the same. It did 606. Except Omega bumped from 575 and Moxley dropped from 623 to 606.
Ruining the Casino Gauntlet number.
Pardon me. 670 from 673 to 606. Yeah, women did really well.
70,000 drop for a world title match.
Sorry, it's MJF and Omega, and I'm sorry, everybody else. No disrespect. Maybe some women, clearly.
Willow and Toni. We're gonna add them to the list. Yep. My girl and your girl. See, look at how that worked out. We got Big Red Dogs. He says Samoa Joe versus Christian Cage a wine match. We also got LaRon, who says they should put Hook in ROH where he gets consistent reps. I've been asking that for Nick Wayne, who needs to get consistent reps, and they haven't even done that. So I don't expect them to do that with Hook. So
I don't know why. He's some fucking. We're not putting Austin on the shelf. No, just sitting in the ROH. All those guys down there are pretty good wrestlers.
Hook could be a world title challenger in Ring of Honor. Like, what are we doing?
Seriously. They do something before he leaves.
Hook was the last person to beat Chris Jericho before he became Ring of Honor world champion.
Oh, yeah, but then we got to do Jericho again.
Yeah, I know. I'm good.
TV show.
I don't want to do that. We got Fire Jack Finisher says, quit piling on all of AEW's mistakes on Christian. He's a father figure, but not the person that has to hold everyone's hand.
God damn. All right. We got, I'm not at least.
We got King Potatoes. He says Kenny is a needle mover. Yeah, 1,000%.
Indeed.
1,000%. And Big Man Dog also good point. He says show getting bumps is a healthy sign. Yes.
First time in a long while.
You finally got your 2 stars back. Like you said this a long time ago that these are the 2 stars by a considerable amount, and they are proving it over the last month.
Keep up the good work, Kenny. MJF, keep showing up.
Get away from Jeff Jarrett. Alexander Fitzgerald says this is officially the healthiest the AEW roster has been, and TK is giving Jarrett 15 minutes.
That's a fair point, I suppose.
Yeah, this is fair. This is fair. We get a video package recapping last week's men's casino gauntlet. We hear from Switchblade Jay White saying that he's going to get his hands on Wheeler Yuta for screwing him over, while the Undisputed Kingdom, especially Roderick Strong, said that they want to get some revenge on Jay White for getting in their way in the casino gauntlet. Meanwhile, Kyle O'Reilly says that Daniel Garcia doesn't impress him as TNT champion, seemingly setting up a match between them, and Adam Cole finishes off the segment by saying the Undisputed Kingdom will win gold in 2025.
What the fuck cares? Who gives a fuck? We need to wrap up this Jay White Wheeler Yuta stuff. What are we doing? It's like the second time I've heard him mention Wheeler Yuta, and it's a little disturbing. I'm not. I guess
do that Grand Slam if you want.
When is that?
Jay deserves February 15th. If it's not a pay-per-view, if it's just a TV special, that's someone he can beat easily, get a 10-minute match out of, and win in near his home country. So,
sure, I'm down.
We then get a promo segment that I don't know why it's on the show, because this person just got 14 minutes of TV time. But Renee Paquette is backstage with Jeff Jarrett when Dustin Rhodes walks into the shot. Before Jarrett could talk about MJF, Rhodes said that MJF doesn't know a thing about the miles Jarrett has had in his career. Rhodes put all his support behind Jarrett and said MJF has no clue what they've been through during their career. They're the last of a dying breed. Rhodes hyped up Jarrett and said that he's a 12-time world champion. Outlaws never die, and they're the last of their kind.
What the fuck?
Who the fuck do you think you are, motherfucker? Like, what? I was looking around my living room. It was no one in my living room, but I was looking around. I was like, they gave him another promo. Another promo. I mean, fuck that shit up. They gave him another one.
You know how I feel about Dustin Rhodes.
Yo, that's like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. This would be like the record label giving Drake another turn at responding to Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah. Dustin Rhodes giving this fucking rah-rah speech to Jeff Jarrett. First of all, as he's holding 2 belts, which already makes me want to throw up. That's number 1. And number 2, it's Jeff Jarrett and it's Dustin Rhodes. It's Jeff Jarrett and the career he was supposed to have if it wasn't for Vince Russo. Good Lord. These motherfuckers are talking like it's Austin and Rock here, meeting each other backstage. We're still in the game. We're not. I'm sorry. Can we move on? Dustin's a good talker, but I have to give a fuck about what he has to say, and I don't at all. We're the last of the dying breed. What is this fucking what? The last of a dying breed? You niggas ain't done nothing. And Jeff Jarrett's done way more than he should have. Oh my God. Goldust giving inspirational speeches. What are we doing? This is insane. This is insane.
Yeah.
To catch this right
let's
here.
do it.
To see Dustin with 2 belts.
Yeah. We got Big Man Does. He says this validates Evil's tweets about the influence the legends have over Tony. Tony's a fan. He's a fan of these guys. And he can't get past the fact that he grew up watching them. To say no.
But I understand that, right? I'm a fan too. I grew up a little younger than Tony is. But like, I had a wrestling company. I wouldn't be pushing Val Venus just because I grew up watching Val Venus. I mean, it's not The Rock. It's not Austin. What are we doing? I'm confused. It's Jeff Jarrett and Dustin Rhodes. What is going on? I am so very confused.
I already have to deal with Dustin Rhodes having 2 titles on the Ring of Honor show. I have to review every Thursday. And y'all put him on this show.
What 2 titles are those, by the way? Tag titles and what?
The Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles and the Ring of Honor 6-man tag team titles. The 6-man tag team titles, which he hasn't defended since checks notes, September, because one of his 2 tag team partners is injured. And they haven't relinquished the titles.
Is nobody in charge of ROH? I think these niggas
Sometimes I really feel like that. I really feel like there's no one watching. There's no one watching from the company to get away with some of the shit that they get through with.
Oh, man. This is insanity. What is going on?
He's a fan. He's a fan. He's a fan. He's a fan.
Oh, it's insane.
Oh, my God. Yes. Big Man Does says, maybe we need to find someone who hates wrestling to book AEW. You got one right here.
Hey, I'll be cutting down a lot of my buckets. There'll be 10 people on the show every week.
10 people on the show. All I need is 10 people. I'm only paying for 10 flights. That's it. That's it.
It's the 4th Willow segment of the night. God damn.
I see Will Ospreay in every segment. Like, what is going on? Why is Mercedes only wrestling? I never hear her speak. I haven't seen Kyle Fletcher in years.
You know, that's true. That'd be my first major angle. It's fucking Mercedes gets her throat crushed, so she can't speak anymore. She can still wrestle, but she can't speak.
Next up, we get the Women's Casino Gauntlet. Mariah May comes out to join the commentary table. She was looking rather ravishing. We get Chris Statlander, of course, the first entrant in after winning the 3-way last week. We get Jamie Hayter as the second entrant, which immediately I was like, well done. Well done, 1 and 2.
Right?
Well done, 1 and 2. We get Statlander.
Is Statlander put on weight? I'm not complaining. She looks fantastic, by the way.
In the right places. May took a shot at Anna Jay, saying that she's not allowed to be in the matchup, having lost any future shots at the women's title against May last month. They battle at it. They have a nice exchange, does Hayter and Statlander. Then we get the big moment of the Women's Casino Gauntlet. Megan Bayne coming to AEW. I feel like we've been talking about this shit for a year. We have single-handedly kept this story alive of where's Megan Bayne, and it finally paid off on this show, and they gave her like the superstar treatment. She got the big entrance. Her ring gear with the headdress just makes her look like a fucking beast, like an absolute star. But you know who sold this shit? And it's the sole reason that Megan Bayne might be one of the better, where we go to the end of the year, might be one of the better AEW debuts of 2025. Mariah May on commentary sold the shit out of this. First, she's like shocked and has her mouth on the floor. She's almost speechless, and then she asks, "What Bane eats for breakfast? Babies?" Bayne flattened Statlander with a leaping clothesline and a falcon arrow for a near fall. Hayter broke up the cover. Hayter fired off some shots, but Bayne no-sold it. Tried a suplex, but Hayter was able to reverse it into a DDT. We get another great line by Mariah May, who says, "I was in Stardom and I was doing well there. Megan Bayne came to Stardom, so I left the hell out of it."
Fucking Hulk Hogan putting motherfuckers over. Go ahead.
Yo, she was straight up Bobby the Brain heated, putting over Hogan type shit. It was great. Julia Hart is out at number 4 through the babyface tunnel, interestingly enough. She brawls with Hayter on the ramp as Statlander and Bane fight at ringside. We go to commercial break. We come back from commercial break, and Willow Nightingale is in at number 5 to a huge pop from these fans in Cincinnati. Bane was waiting for her as the two started throwing shots immediately. All the while, you get a Hoss battle of Willow, Statlander, and Bane in the ring. You got Hayter and Julia, the rivals, fighting at ringside, brawling all over the place. You get a nice instinct where Bane is about to hit a big suplex on, I believe, Statlander first. No, on Willow, and Statlander cuts it off. It leads to a double team suplex by Willow and Statlander. Love the shot and the production, the camera work here, where you see the shot of both of them sitting up and they look at each other and they smile. They get up. You think they're going to hug. No, they just start chopping the shit out of each other. That was great. That was a great moment. They both chop the hell out of each other. Nightingale pounces Statlander nearly out of the ring. At number 6, Toni Storm, the hottest AEW rookie, is here. She runs wild with snap mares and shoulder blocks like a regular rookie. Bane launched Storm onto Statlander on the ramp, but turned into Nightingale, hitting a missile dropkick. Hayter and Hart suffered the same fate before Willow wiped out Bane with a dive off the apron. Statlander flies off the stage onto both women, but Toni Storm took her out as she tries to get back in the ring with Sweet Cheeks music. Hayter and Hart were left in the ring for a hockey fight. That got a good response from the Cincinnati fans as well. Harley Cameron came in at number 7. She was the smartest person in this matchup because she immediately went for pinfall. She was like, fuck all this. Y'all guys are hurt. Let me go for pins. Hart avoids a Hayter raid. Hart avoids the Hayter raid, but not the hate breaker. Cameron nearly stole a pin on Hayter, but then she gets the hate breaker. She goes for the Haterade, but Harley is able to duck it, and she runs right into Julia Hart, misting her. Julia Hart hits a thrust kick to take out Hayter. Hart then goes and ends things with Cameron with a running clothesline to the back of the head. But before she could capitalize, that good old rookie, Toni Storm, comes in with the inside cradle, small package, gets the 1, 2, 3. Toni Storm is the number 1 contender for the AEW Women's World Champion, winning the first ever Women's Casino Gauntlet. She moves on to February 15th, Australia, Brisbane, Australia. Toni Storm returns home to challenge Mariah May for the AEW Women's World Championship. Also enjoyed Mariah May on commentary. Exactly what we said. What was it, 2 weeks ago or last week? We was like, Mariah May should want to face her. Because if she don't remember anything, she's not angry at her, she's a rookie, that should be the person she wants to face. And Mariah sold it perfectly. She was like, I've never met this woman. No, I thought timeless Toni Storm. I never faced this version of Toni Storm. This would be our first time meeting. And then when she wins, she's like, yes, great, the rookie won. Mariah was great on commentary here. I thoroughly enjoyed this Women's Casino Gauntlet. What about you?
Same. I thought it was really well done. I could have done with extra 5 minutes or so. But I thought it was really well done. Statlander and Hayter starting off, first of all, duh. It's almost as obvious as not having Nia Jax start the. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna talk about that. That happened then. This is now.
Watch Nia be number 1 in the Royal Rumble.
Oh my God. 60 minutes of Nia. Good Lord. Yeah, this is fucking great. Big pop for Willow. Gigantic pop for Toni. But I got to make it main for a second. As you said, Mariah May sold the shit out of it. She was going off. Like, you would have swore up and down that this is the baddest motherfucker on the planet. It was, and she looked great. I will say she's got significantly more guts than I would have had after her first stint in this fucking place. And after seeing what happened to Camille, I can't imagine why you would sign with AEW. Good Lord. Hey, so far so good. That's a hell of a start. Good job. We'll see what happens. Listen, I've seen 20 Julia matches so far. The one Mega Bane is still my favorite with relative ease. It's not even all that close. Sorry. It just is. She's fantastic. Toni winning, I like. As you said, it does set up nicely. God damn. It's my burner account. I'm here for you. Except he's not a good dude. He's a son of a billionaire. So he's fucking awful. Yeah, I'm curious where they go with this. Listen, if this is all a work by Toni, I'm here for it. If it's not, I'm simply less here for it. I didn't want to hear about she's a rookie. I love how the comments like, oh, it's a rookie. Toni's not a rookie year. Do you understand what that means? That means she has fucking brain damage and you think it's fucking hilarious. What the fuck is wrong with you? Worst commentators ever.
The suggestion that I saw or heard about was someone said Toni should lose at Grand Slam, and then in the weeks leading up to Revolution, she finds herself as Timeless Toni Storm and wins the title in Hollywood at Revolution.
She finds herself.
She finds herself. She goes on the journey, or getting another Storm Zero. It's the Storm Zero was the key to her day damage at All In, and now she gets another Storm Zero. It brings her right back.
I'm actually not against that idea. That's appropriately wrestling stupid. But you just get this move, it turns you off and on. Okay, sure, I'm here for it. But that could work. Yeah, Statlander. I was like, what the fuck happened? What did I miss? She's always been
Statlander, man. She's just great though. Like in the ring, I felt like she was the glue of this matchup. Like everything, like some of the best like exchanges was Statlander.
So what? We're talking about how fine she is. It's not you. Interrupting with that wrestling nonsense.
Thinking with his dick. Motherfucker.
Wrestling nonsense. Tell me how thick she look.
We got another super chat donation here. Thank you so much, LaRon Ford. We appreciate you so much.
Listen up, you prick.
LaRon says, with the amount of hype they gave this first ever women's casino gauntlet, I was expecting a lot more. More time, more women, more excitement. I wish that we would have gotten more time and more women like your Deonna Purrazzo's, your Thunder Rosas, your Karashitas. I did get the excitement. I don't think I need more excitement. I got excited for the amount of time that it went through. I like the ladies. I like most of the ladies they used in this matchup as well. They're women that are over with the audience for the most part out of the women that they did use. So I can't say that I need more excitement, but definitely more women, more time. You cut 5 minutes off of fucking MJF and Jeff Jarrett. They would have gotten the same amount of time as last week's Casino Gauntlet, at least.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, I felt like it was very focused. The women I used in this gauntlet match. These are, I don't say the future of the division, but this is the division. This is who they are. Everybody else, no disrespect, Britt, Deonna, Shida, Thunder Rosa are on the outskirts of who will be used going forward. Sorry, I keep saying the thing now. Listen, lady.
Hey, I'm just glad our girl got through. Our girl got through to the other side. Ever since we put her in All-Star, the push has been on. when you watch our tier list, ever since we put her in All-Star, Harley's been on every fucking show they do. Even ROH sometimes.
Yeah. Annika, I'm sorry. Power Driver 2. I'm sorry. You guys need to let it go. How many years has it been? She's been champion for what? 12 years? I forget. Let it go. It's over. It's not going to happen. Big Man does might be onto something.
That's a good. No, I was going to say that's a good point by Alexander. He says, I will say I wanted more women in the match, but it did allow for Megan Bayne to come out looking stronger. Yeah, I think if you have more women in the matchup, maybe the spotlight isn't as much on Megan Bayne.
Yeah, I mean, if you have 10 people, it's hard to spread it out. 8 people, it's less people to feed. Yeah, Megan Bayne came out looking fantastic, I thought. And Big Man, I think he's right. It didn't go short. Everything else just goes too long. I agree. You know what? You convinced me. Sold.
Yeah.
Sold.
I agree with that.
Yeah, it's sold.
He also said double brain damage neutralizes the original brain damage. See, you get the
wrestling
story.
Logic. Absolutely.
Oh man. But finally we had the main event of the show, Jon Moxley defending the AEW World Championship against the number one contender, Powerhouse Hobbs. Moxley entered the arena with Shafir through the cold, snowy Cincinnati night. Before the match was about to begin, Claudio Castagnoli and Pac ran distraction at the bell to allow Moxley the upper hand. They immediately retreated, but Hobbs gained control soon after with clubbering blows. Taz said that he was proud of former Team Taz members Hobbs, Brian Cage, and Hook, as they were all featured on the show. I feel like there's missing somebody.
Yeah, what the fuck? What a company man ass motherfucker.
Moxley was able to battle back with a dive to the outside, but it was short-lived as Hobbs won a brawl through the crowd. They head back into the ring as Moxley quickly took over with punches and bunches in the corner, getting in Hobbs' face, talking trash. But Hobbs, he drove Moxley to the corner instead, where he fucking bites his earring out of his ear, busting Moxley open. Moxley looked like a fucking murder victim. Fox was sent crashing outside as Hobbs was in full control. Tony Schiavone said they were sticking with this, but they went to commercial. Hobbs kept biting at the ear and now has Moxley's blood on his mouth. He looked like an absolute fucking beast. Moxley fired off a cutter for a reset. We got a forearm exchange. Shafir got in some cheap shots as Moxley took the referee. Quickly back inside, Moxley wanted the Death Rider, but Hobbs powered out and into a shoulder tackle. Hobbs mowed down Moxley with a series of clotheslines. He hits the World's Strongest Slam for a near fall. Dude hits an avalanche power slam, but Moxley used the momentum to roll through into a cross arm breaker. Hobbs got the ropes and the referee backed Moxley off. That distraction allowed Wheeler Yuta to come down. He sprints down the ramp, hits up a psycho knee on Hobbs on the ramp, puts Hobbs back into the ring. Moxley wanted a Death Rider, but Hobbs hit a desperation spine buster out of nowhere. He lowered the straps. He wanted the torture rack. I thought I was going to get my Lex Luger finish that I wanted, but Moxley gets a rear naked choke. Moxley stumbled out, grabbed the referee, allowing Marina Shafir to hit Hobbs with the briefcase. And then he hit the Death Rider, and Hobbs saw that too. Moxley sank in a bulldog choke. Hobbs tries to fight out of it, but eventually he passes out. Never gives up. There's referee stoppage. So I felt like they protected him in a big way. They had Wheeler interfere, had Claudio, had Pac interfere, had Marina Shafir interfere. And then he loses by not tapping out, not being pinned. It's because he passed out. That was fair. Post-match, you get the Death Riders coming down to jump Hobbs. Hobbs briefly fought them off until Claudio Castagnoli uses a chair on his previously injured leg. They tear off his brace off of his knee as they take turns smacking his leg with a steel chair. They then wrap his leg in the steel chair, and Claudio stomps on it, humanizing his leg. And then immediately right after that, FTR and Adam Copeland decide to make the save and run down as the Death Riders bail as Hobbs is injured and hurt to end the show.
Great. Fantastic. Oh, my God.
I thought the match was good. Like I said, I did like how they protected Hobbs with the finish. Wouldn't have been the finish I would have booked, but it's the best job they can do at protecting him. Hobbs looked like a beast throughout this matchup as well. I just think that he could have looked even stronger if he faced anyone that wasn't Strongman Moxley.
Yeah. He's pretending he's somehow as strong as Powerhouse Hobbs is. He's twice your size, quite literally, to put you guys back to back. This is silly. I'm really mad at the finish. So whether we write Hobbs off for a couple weeks, a couple months, what are we doing? What are we doing?
I think he's going to.
He just got hot. You think so?
I think they already announced the 12-man tag. He's going to be on Collision.
So what? What does that mean? Oh, did spoilers come out yet?
Yes.
He's in it?
Yes.
I mean, you just said he's in no selling, so I mean, told us. That aside, this was a good match. I'm not the biggest fan of Moxley in the ring. I'm not the biggest fan of his fucking character right now or his story. So nothing of this is doing it for me. And not to mention, I think Mox's group worked best when it felt like they were kind of this overpowering force, and now they feel like they're kind of incompetent. I mean, I don't want to be rude about it, but you can't really do anything right. You couldn't even get Hobbs to tap out. Just fucking for you. Why is this taking so long to beat the guy who's never won big belts? This is a lot. I'm sorry. This is not the worst part of the show. Jeff and Maxwell took care of that, but it wasn't very good. We skipped all the good parts of the bloodline, and we've now gone to the Roman title defenses. This kind of stinks.
And we're not even at like 2020, 2021 title defenses. We skipped all of it to the 2023 title defenses.
Right? What happened to him stacking motherfuckers? Moxley stacking them. Should have stacked Orange Cassidy in one of these cocksuckers.
Fucking AB Bryan Danielson clean as a sheet.
And now here we are. Maybe that means we're close to the end, though. Could be a good thing.
Hopefully. One would hope, right? But we shall see. We shall see what goes down next. But yeah, not the. I honestly, after the show, it's just like probably should have main evented with the Casino Gauntlet. Give the fans something happy to end on.
Oh, Jesus, you get soft to your old age. No, this could have been cool. It just wasn't because it's fucking Mox in them.
There you go. But we've made it to the end of another episode of AEW Dynamite. Had a bunch of fun talking about it with Jimmy and all of you. Final call for Super Chat donations. You guys have done a great job today. Appreciate the love and support in the chat as always. Final call for Super Chat donations. And of course, let us know your match of the night, your MVP, your LVP. Whether you gave the show a thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs in the middle, and out of 10, what did you give the show? For me and Jimmy, for the January 15th, 2025 Maximum Carnage edition of AEW Dynamite in 3, 2, 1. Thumbs up from both of us. Out of 10, what did you give the show, Jimmy?
7. Women's Battle Royal, Women's Gauntlet, Casino Gauntlet. Thought it was really well done. Herbins was fun. Omega was fun. And there were some not so good things. I would lean towards a 7, maybe and a quarter, but commentary was also awful. So we're going for 7.
Yeah, I think that's the best comment. Like, I think that we pretty much are all in the same range. Yeah, I'm at a 7 on this. I'm at a 7 on this. This is like, you passed, but do better. You passed. Please do better. You literally had a B+ last week. How did you get a C on this? A C- at best. Like what Jesus. But yeah, I gave it a 7 out of 10. There was stuff I liked. This was very much a picture into some of the highs of AEW and some of the lows in one episode.
That's a good point.
And who was your MVP for the show, Jimmy?
That's a good one. I'm going to go with co-MVPs. Don't usually do this, but I'm going to go with Statlander for my own reasons and for the ones that you saw on TV. Great wrestler, carried that match, and Megan Bain, who felt like a star here.
Agreed with that. I'm just gonna give it in general to the women's division. I thought this was like probably the most women they featured on an episode of Dynamite in a while, and I thought that all of them contribute to the Women's Casino Gauntlet in different ways, whether it's Mariah May being great on commentary, outclassing Tony Schiavone, Taz, and Excalibur. You also had Toni Storm getting that huge pop and winning, Willow Nightingale getting that huge pop and having that standout moment with Statlander making Jimmy a very happy person and being the glue of the matchup. Julia and Jamie Hayter, continuing their rivalry, and also Megan Bain with a great debut in the company. So everybody from the women's division is my LVP for the show, Jimmy.
I'm not gonna give him LVP. I can't give him MVP either. But I did want to mention, I think Ian might have shaken up Excalibur. You know the energy he had at the beginning of the show?
Yeah.
All right, take it easy.
He was like, I heard y'all talking shit on the Ramble. I'm not.
Yeah, I don't want to go with TK again. I always go with TK. It's easy. He sucks.
I'll say mine. It's easy. Jeff Jarrett.
Jeff?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll go with Jeff. Sadly. And I'm not going to leave you hanging out there. I'll go with Jeff and MJF. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I can't like I said, I would argue that MJF was fine in the segment, that Jarrett was the shit that really drug it down, but takes two to tango. So I don't mind. We also got LaRon Ford with a super chat donation. Thank you so much, LaRon. We appreciate all your support. Let's give
you fucking mark.
What's the energy at?
LaRon says LVP, Jarrett, and MJF by far. Yeah, this was like a Steph Curry 2016 MVP type of LVP.
Oh, well, Mrs. CM Punk more than MJF. Poor bastard. Out of Poland, Jeff Jarrett. What the fuck's going on here?
Tough shit there. Your match of the night, Jimmy.
I'm going to go with the Casino Gauntlet. It's the most I enjoyed the show, quite frankly.
Yeah. I'm going to go with the women's casino gauntlet as well. I really liked Omega and Cage, as well as I did like the match of the main event, but the women's casino gauntlet, I think, accomplished a lot more, and it probably got the biggest response from the fans live there with the pops for people coming out as well. So got to give it to that. But that brings us to a close on this Maximum Carnage edition of AEW Dynamite. Want to thank Jimmy for joining me on a Friday, and thank all of y'all. Y'all guys killed it in the chat with the super chats, killed it on the viewership. We got 155 of you watching right now between Twitter and YouTube. If you haven't already, drop a thumbs up, drop the heart like emoji on Twitter if you're watching it over there. Show your support. We appreciate y'all for joining us today. Join us back here next week, next Thursday, 1:05 p.m. Eastern time, our usual time slot for our AEW Dynamite review. But until then, Jimmy, let everybody know where they can follow you.
On Twitter, at Jimmy Macram, where I cry about no longer having Collision to watch, which was the best wrestling show, even though people tried to tell me otherwise. I don't know why. It's brilliant. And now it's not. And now nothing is as good as that show. No disrespect to Raw, SmackDown, Dynamite, Collision, nothing as good as that show. And that makes me very, very sad. And YouTube, where I don't cry as much.
Don't worry. He's going to be running NXT soon.
Thank God. Somebody take the book away from Shawn Michaels. What the fuck's going on here? What the fuck's going on with Shawn Michaels?
He's fucking romance ankles.
one week he's Michael Jordan, the next week he's fucking Jordan Farmer. Like, what is going on here? Sir, are you good or bad?
Jordan Farmar. Oh shit, I haven't heard that name in years. You can follow me on the Twitter machine at TrueHillSB3. Follow the gang, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok at TrueHillHeat. Patreon.com/TrueHillHeat. $3 a month gets you exclusive content. The place to support us when we are not live here. And join us live tomorrow at 11:05 a.m. Eastern time. The True Hill Heat flagship podcast. We'll be talking about Penta's debut and if it may lead to an AEW exodus. We'll be talking about Malakai Black potentially making his return to WWE, the WWE and TNA working partnership. We have a lot to discuss, so join me and Miss Chrissy Love tomorrow, 11:05 a.m. Eastern time. But until
Corey
then,
Graves, somebody else who needs to shut the fuck up.
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about that. We'll talk about Corey Graves as well tomorrow on the flagship podcast. Appreciate the love. Join us live for that. Thank you to Jimmy. We will see him next Thursday. But until then, it is me, your True Hill Phenom SP3. This has been AEWramble, episode 181 for AEW Maximum Carnage. We are signing off until next time. Later, y'all.